The
All
stream
right,
is
here we go.
live.
Yes, sir. Hey, I'm Star Wars Dog.
Brad, Peaches and Cream, also known as, don't forget it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, welcome into the 11 Deep Dawgcast. We got Georgia Florida week. We got some things to say about this game. Let's get into it.
Brethren. You know, before you get going, speaking of God's country, how great it is to be in the time that we are and to be alive at the moment that we're alive. No, I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, I know it's a bit of a humble brag, but that intro pumps me up every single time.
It gets the goosies going.
Yeah,
like I got them now, even under this hoodie. Like,
it gets in your bones. It gets in your bones for sure. Well, I guess we'll let's go ahead and kick it off. And today, Georgia got a win against the Gators, of course. 34-20. Initial impressions, it wasn't my favorite game I've ever watched. and especially my favorite Florida game I've ever watched. But yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know, I want to be the optimist and I want to be the Disney dog right now before you give your take. Is it better than a loss?
Of course.
Okay. Okay. Well, continue on, sir. Continue
but,
on.
You know, at this point, we I'm all for optimism and, you know, supporting your team and not shitting all over your team. I understand that mindset and I respect it. It makes a lot of sense. But at the same time here, and something that y'all can expect from me, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. When I see something that I'm not jiving with, where I may be identifying a problem, something that I would love to be addressed, I'm gonna say so, you know, and let's also make something clear too. This is a post game, fresh off the press kind of take, right? I mean, we're going live right after the games. We haven't let the game marinate. We haven't gone back and rewatched shit. This is fresh off the press. This is
hot
our
takes
upfront and
as we
take.
saw it without any hindsight.
Yes, for sure.
Well, a minimal amount of hindsight.
A little. Well, yeah. Today, how many games this season have we just jumped in live right after the game?
Right. Well, there's a little bit of hindsight, but the take we're taking is our impressions of the game without watching any film, without kind of going back and seeing who messed up, whatever.
Not listening to pundits, not listening to other takes. Yeah. Although I do enjoy, especially on the YouTube front, checking out our friends over at Row 60. Again, they just got over 100,000. Fantastic for them.
Go check out Row 60. Clark is an amazing content creator. He and
Clark and Adam. They're
Clark and Adam. They're
fantastic.
great. They're great guys. They give great little segments. If it's your first time ever going to Sanford Stadium and you need to know what to eat, go check them out.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
They give a concessions report that is just spot on.
Yep. It's fantastic. It's good shit. Mom, you could actually post the link if you can figure out.
Oh, is Mom here?
Yep. She's in the chat. Old Mama Dog right there.
Hey, Mom. I don't have the chat up, but hey, Mom. Yeah. Love you, mean it.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's becoming a pretty strong Georgia fan now after watching the show every
Oh,
week.
welcome. We're not like the Bills Mafia, which I'm a part of. We don't have to break tables to be a part of the Dogs.
Right, right. Um, but no, uh, yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the game, man.
So what do you think, man? What do you got?
Well, I actually wanted to ask you what's your initial thoughts? You want to
Oh
be the
God.
resident optimist.
So
Let's see what you got.
optimism.
Optimus
Here we
Prime.
go.
Come on.
Georgia ranked. If you guys take any merit in the rankings, ranked number 2 in the nation, did exactly what they were supposed to do. Without watching the game, if you're just looking at scores and you're looking at box stats, they won by 2 scores. You would think there was no problems at all.
Yeah,
As a Georgia fan, this was the
as somebody who watched the game.
this was the most terrible, horrific game Georgia has played all season. And if it were not for a stout, consistent, and dominant defense, Georgia would have lost this football game.
Yeah, I agree. There's we maintained control and we had our hand on the wheel the entire time. Even though we were trailing going into half, it still felt like, we had the ability to make it happen.
Sure.
Um, but we have a player that seemed to be trying to give the game away and just making it super
Well,
frustrating to watch. I mean,
elaborate on trying to give the game away. I want to hear
well,
about
and
this.
and I'll get that when we start talking about stats and stuff. But anybody who is a Georgia fan that watched the game and is tuning in to listen to this show, you probably sniff out where I'm going with this. But a couple more of those types of actions, and we could be sitting here in an entirely different mood. Um, but at the end of the day, we did get the win. Um,
2 scores, by the way.
yeah, yeah, a two score game.
A dominant win.
Yet another um fantastic second half, but mediocre first half
But could you say
offensively.
lackluster performance overall?
As a team, I think you would kind of have to say that. Um Individual units, I think defensively, I think it was a not only fine, but a great performance. Did we give up 20 points? Yeah, we did. But they also had short field and they
On
had momentum
what,
and
4, 5 possessions? I want to say short field. 4
mhm,
it did.
mhm. And also
So
really uncharacteristic.
5 possessions, you only give up 20 points on a short field?
Hey, we'll take that every day of the week, to be honest. But not not a very rare day for Brett Thorson. Not having the best kicking game today. I mean,
How do you explain? Because
well,
yeah,
they got the
explain.
ball off of punts around the 45. I know at least twice.
Where was he kicking from, though?
Yes, but usually he sends it a lot further than that.
I think his average punt. Now, this is just box score. This is just
Right.
numbers, which don't mean anything
Yep.
because he could be punting from the 45.
Yep.
Average punt's like a 47-yard punt,
Yeah.
but with a 5-second hang time, which
Right.
the hang time is the most important.
And there was no returns, right? Punt return?
None,
No, there was
none.
there was a
I
there was
think that
one there was one technically because he muffed it and then he fell on it. So,
yeah.
yeah.
So, but again, the hang time's the most important statistic out of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
So you get a 5-second hang time, you can't ask for anything more. So if you
Yeah.
get a 45-yard punt from what was the furthest back they were? The 15 he punted one time? Georgia
Yeah.
15? I
Yeah.
mean, you get it across the 50, you're doing great with a 5-second hang time.
True, true. Of course, we're more accustomed to pinning them within the 10,
Oh,
of course.
absolutely. But
You're absolutely right. Positioning before the punt is prominent. He was called upon 5 times today, which is disheartening. Not my favorite, but he did have a long for 51. So although it may sound like I'm calling him out, I still think he did a fantastic job today. Just there was a couple of punts where they started in great field position,
well,
and
speaking of
I'm
5
not used
punts,
to seeing that.
I don't want to interrupt too much, but what uh what was lacking in the offense? I mean, I know we're going to get into individual performances, and of course,
Consistency.
but was it run blocking? Was it dropped passes? Was it bad play calling? Like, what in your observation was the issues tonight?
Well, there's an element there. Well, it's a multifaceted kind of thing to me, right? And again, this is fresh off the press, right after the
Sure,
game.
sure, sure, sure,
No
sure.
analysis. Uh, Certainly, drops are still an issue. There's multiple drops and tips today that could have turned much worse that we just can't seem to get out of our system. And also some miscommunications, it seems, right? Like it it appears to um Carson thought somebody was going this way and he threw it the other way. Uh Run game. So we were talking earlier, run game I believe was better today. Um
Right, right.
Even though ETN came out and I'm still not 100% certain his status or even really what happened. Um I don't know if we could find out now. I wasn't able to find anything earlier. Let me see if they got any news on him. Mm, I don't see anything initially, but yeah, run game was pretty good. Nate Frazier stepped up. He hauled in 82 yards for us. Team total, we had
How many
146
carries?
yards.
How many carries was that?
Frazier had 19 carries on that.
Yeah. So was that
Yeah.
4? Little less than 4?
So
A little more
our
than 4. A little more than 4. 4.1 roughly.
um huh. I wonder why it doesn't give us the average.
Well, you said 82 on 19. Quick math. That's 4 plus 2, close to 4.1.
Which isn't terrible. I'll take
No, no,
that. I'll take
that's
that.
hey, 3 of those is a first down, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, ETN had 7 carries for 31 yards. Um, Both had a long of 11. Of course, Dylan Bell had a nice 33-yard run. That was fantastic to see him get that.
What was total rush yards? Because I haven't. I don't.
146.
I don't even have Espen pulled up like
I see.
some of us.
Yeah,
Just
I've got it right here. I got the
yeah.
cheat sheet with me.
Oh no. Oh no. You said this was raw, Jim. You said
It
this was
it
raw.
look, we're still raw dogging it. We're still raw dogging it.
Um, I don't want to get into individuals, but the offense and
We
it
will.
this has been consistent now. This is a trend. The offense is missing something. Whether it's communication, whether it's continuity, ooh, excuse me, whether it's I don't know what it is. It's missing something. Whether it's keys, whether it's the will to thrive. I don't know what it is, but it is clearly missing. And this is speaking from atop a mountain
Yep.
because even though as Georgia fans we're looking at this semi pessimistically.
Mhm.
Georgia is still what 7-1 at
Right.
this point. Number 2 in the rankings.
For now.
If you hold rankings to any type of validity,
Mhm.
um, the offense is not meeting up to expectations and or potential.
Yeah.
And we can get into the expectations and potential. There's a differentiation there. Wow. Too many beer tonight, gentlemen and ladies. I apologize. Exactly. Tomorrow can be undone by what is today.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
Yes.
That's what you meant to say.
Yes, but there is something missing, whether it's potential, whether it's execution, whatever it is. It's either run blocking is lacking, it's receivers dropping passes, it's uh, quarterback making bad throws. We'll get into that later. There is an element missing from this offense, which is stopping this team from being truly from observers elite.
And I don't have all the answers or even how to get this, but to me, and I've brought it up earlier in the season. To me, it's what Vandy has right now.
Oh,
It's
dude.
what other teams have, like South Carolina right now, currently on a 27-0 run, unanswered points. They are running away from Texas A&M and knocking them out of the top 10. But
No, Texas A&M hadn't even reached the top 10 yet.
they're number 10 right now. What are you talking about?
Oh, well, tells you how much I pay attention to rankings. They don't matter until next week.
Sit down when you pee, sir.
Hey, speaking of paying attention, make sure you like, subscribe, and rate and review. All right. We're live on Twitter, YouTube. All right.
Live on Facebook as well.
Hey, and if you don't like what we're saying, come talk shit. All right. Anyway, continue.
Yes, sir. But I think what we're missing on offense, and I wouldn't say simply, but I think what it is that we're missing is the tenacity in that fire. I watched multiple times during this game when it would pan to the faces. I seen disheartened players. I seen players that didn't look like they wanted to be out there. That didn't have that spark, that energy, that fire in their eyes to actually make something happen. It's like they're just going through the motions, man. And that could get us.
Can you name specific players that stuck out?
Dylan Bell and Carson Beck.
Tell me more about Dylan Bell, because I have some fucking taco fire sauce on Carson Beck.
Absolutely, me too. I've actually got some Inferno sauce for him.
Oh,
but,
whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, tell me about Dylan Bell. Tell me, because I believe even though he had a couple of drops, he actually kind of looked almost like a foundation tonight.
He had a decent day. I will say Lovett looked better receiving today for sure. He kind of popped, but as far as Dylan Bell goes, again the drops, man, and it seems that him and Carson aren't clicking. I don't know if they're just not getting along. I don't know if they need to go watch Remember the Titans. I don't really know what it is, man. They're not on the same page, and it really showed today when Carson nearly threw yet another interception.
Another. Thrice.
And another one.
And another one.
Man,
do you have that video clip? You know, some T-Pain and another one. Or DJ Khaled.
I do not, but that
and another one.
But no, the inconsistency of the drops, man. It's now he had one that the defender popped out and he was able to recollect himself and take that ball and take it to the ground, and he landed hard too. I think he stung his arm pretty good. Now that was maximum effort, and he showed out for that. But man, I don't know if he's just not focusing on the catch, or like he's getting ahead of his skis, right? Is he just trying to be the Lad McConkey and looking forward to making that move right after he gets the ball? I don't know what it is. There's also an angle that we could look at this, that you know who he brought in over the offseason to coach wide receivers?
James Coley.
A hated man in my book.
Well, we didn't like him as offensive coordinator,
Mhm.
but I think that is some unjust hatred. IMO. We can get into that later. That's kind of getting into the weeds.
Yeah. Well, either way,
I don't
I
disagree.
wasn't.
I don't
I was
disagree.
not a fan of him at all.
His recruiting is very good. It is superior recruiting.
That is more than likely why he's here, right?
Yes,
Recruiting is so important. That's why Muschamp is still on the staff, even though he's taken a step back. He's still an excellent recruiter. But my point is, we're having all of these drops and all of these miscommunications. What's up, Lady Astrid? How you doing, girl?
Lady Astrid.
We got a legacy Bama fan here.
Lady Astrid, we can get into that. I disagree, kind of, but not really. I know I hate to be so vague with that, but Georgia did have a 2-year run. They should have had a 3rd year, but we didn't get the tax exemption that Bama got when it comes to playoffs. So we didn't really establish the legacy powerhouse.
Not to mention their tax write-offs to the donation.
Right. Exactly. Anyway, James Coley, recruiting is important.
Yes, but my overall point with wide receivers, there could be, if we wanted to, go ahead and affix our tinfoil hats. And
oh yes.
if we wanted to do that, you could say that there might be a correlation between him coming back and being the wide receiver position coach and all these drop passes and miscommunications.
Well, my argument to this, and again, I want you to continue, is in 2019 when he took over. No, 2020, excuse me. No, was it 2019? No, it's 2020. It was 2020 when he took over as offensive coordinator. There weren't the drop passes, but that's also because he didn't have any fucking wide receivers.
Yeah, Pickens was hurt, I think, right?
Yeah, so
but still, just food for thought.
No.
There could be a correlation there.
I don't think James Coley as wide receivers coach has much to do with the drops. There's coaching is a factor for sure. For sure.
Yep.
But I don't want to dig too deep into Carson Beck yet. But
we're saving that. We're saving that.
The majority of these issues, I do believe, stem from quarterback play. I'm not going to say all.
I would agree.
I'm not going to say all. I'm not going to say most. Most is actually more accurate, but majority. There is a quarterback issue.
How much do you put on Bobo? Because
absolutely
with all that said, Carson did have 309 yards today.
Okay, well, so coaching again, I said, is a factor. So I'll put 3% on Bobo. If you go again, I haven't watched
execution, right?
I haven't watched the film yet. I haven't looked back. This is all raw dogging, as so coined by Sir Star Wars Dog Jim. Bobo had the plays on the field to either be first downs, hitters, chunk yardage, touchdowns, whatever. The plays are there. The offense is the offense. When again, I don't want to go back and dig up fucking past tense, but Todd Monken installed this offense from 2020 to 2023. Or 2022, the 3 seasons he was here, he installed this offense. Yep. This offense is the offense.
Right.
Bobo can dig in his bag and call the plays and whatever. Bobo is a when it comes, if you want to do the analogy as a chess match, he is a master at calling plays and exposing defenses. Now, whether or not the players fucking execute the shit, you can't blame Mike Bobo for that. There's a little bit there because, coaching and whatever, what have you, execution, you need to play till the whistle blows, all the coaching cliches.
Right.
But Bobo is doing the right shit as an offensive coordinator. And I am no Bobo lover. I will have that noted in the chat on live television and a national network. I am not a Bobo lover.
All right. We'll do a little George Strait and we'll write that down.
I will pick up for the man though. Because it's not his fault. This is not 2011 and 2015, where a Georgia defense is giving up an average of 38 points a game. That's not what this is.
Even then, his stats were great back then too.
Yeah, dude at the University of Georgia has consistently, I think his average is still like 41 points a game, but this season is still outscoring his opponents by 2 scores.
Right.
It's not Mike Bobo. It's not. Mike Bobo is not the problem. At the small term. If you want to get, into the weeds, if we want to go like, looking for different like plants, maybe coaching might be an issue. Like, oh, we're dropping passes. Oh, these dudes can't block. Oh, why are these players there? Okay, maybe. But Mike Bobo is calling the plays on offense. And the fucking, like, I go back to the Kentucky game. Sorry to get on this Mike Bobo rant. I'm sorry, guys. Listen to me if I'm wrong.
Fire away.
Let me know in the chat.
I'm going to take a piss while you do.
Yeah. But Mike Bobo, Kentucky game, called a screen, and everyone complains about the screens. But if Ben Urasek gets 1 block, that's a 75-yard touchdown. Okay? The play's there. It's right there in front of us at the fingertips of the offense to go ahead and be explosive. But the players on the field somehow drop the ball and just give it up. I don't know I don't know what to tell you. So, but the offense, again, like Jim's saying, there's something missing. There's something not there. And I don't want to get too far into the future, but we need to buy into the Kirby Smart motto and continue to get better every week and trust the process, because that's all we can do right now.
We're here to eat.
we're looking from atop a mountain.
Yep.
Like, there's still a lot of puck left. Okay, there's still a lot of season left, and Georgia's offense still has to get better. Now, the defense, on the other hand, Jim, tell me about that defense.
Fred, I shall, but I do want to address this. Before I get to
Fred.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Before I get to Fred, I do want to address this because Mom and Dog makes a good point. Florida had a lot of injuries, and I think that alleviated a lot of stress that was on us for this game.
If Lagway stayed in the game, that would have not been a 2-score game. No way. Because he was eating up that defense.
They have won.
But he also had Uncle Mo on his side, to be fair. Uncle Mo.
Elaborate.
Uncle Momentum.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let us not forget momentum.
That's something, again. So we're identifying things that we might see with the offense, right? That's something, again, it doesn't ever seem like Beck can get into a rhythm.
I have to agree, but strongly disagree.
That's partially him. That's partially drops. But I hear so many announcers talk about his swagger and stuff. They must just be referring to his fucking Lambo and his TikTok girlfriend. But they bring that up all the time, and I'm like, what swagger? This guy is oatmeal cooked with just water. I mean, he's plain as white bread and mayonnaise.
Please don't let me tell the joke I want to tell, Jim. Talk me out of it. Just say no. Just tell me no. Tell me no right now. Just like
this
Brad,
one
no.
here?
Yeah, that one. I have more chromosomes than you do. Like
less chromosomes. You have less chromosomes.
All right, Fred. Fred. Carson is not just bad. Okay. Carson statistically, now I'm going to get into the details. But statistically, Carson is a great quarterback. He really is. And even though
you're fake news.
Even though through the past 5 games, he's thrown 11 interceptions. That's not including the fumbles. That's not including the fucking Alabama in the end zone turnover that for a safety. That's not including that shit. The offense is still outscoring opposing teams by 2 scores. Okay? So let's put that on the forefront.
Let me say this. In this game, even in the second half when we were having better production, anytime we lined up in an empty set or the ball was snapped and the handoff was faked, let me tell you something. This was my mood every single time.
Oh, make you want to kick a fat kid at Kmart. You know what I'm saying? Praise God, baby.
Praise God. All right, Fred. So Carson. Let me get into Carson real quick. So Carson's stats are solely, and I'm convinced of this before watching film of this game particularly, but there is a trend throughout the season. But Carson's stats coming into this season and all of his hype are based on Ladarius McConkey and Brock Bowers. Without those 2 fucking baby blankets, this dude is a fucking Tua Tagovailoa incarnate. Brother doesn't know what the fuck's going on. Like, it's a trend at this point. Now I need to go watch film, and there's a good fair amount of these turnovers throughout the season that are not his fault. But they're still his fault because he's the Q. He's the man, okay? Miscommunications at the line, whatever tip passes, okay, those still go against him, but we're not going to give it a full credit score. We'll give it a partial credit score. Brother, so he's got 11 in 5 games. We're going to give him a solid 8.5. Okay, giving away tip passes and shit like that. Something's got to give. And as I don't want to be ringing the bell on get rid of Carson. I don't want to do that because of offensive continuity. And again, Georgia's offense is still outscoring opponents 2 scores, guys.
Unfortunately,
let's keep this in.
Carson isn't the answer. It's not going to help anything.
We got to keep it in perspective.
Yep.
But is it time to fucking put Rashada or Gunner in? Carson, like, he tried to force so many throws tonight. It's unreal. Like, I know when he threw the ball every single
time he drops back and passes, I'm sitting on the couch just
brother. What's that?
That first interception
every time.
Like, I think it was to Bell. Like, not only did Bell not have leverage on the DB, but there was a safety coming down. And then there was another corner, which ended up in quote unquote triple coverage, even though that shit doesn't exist. But by the time he threw the ball, it was there. And he just tried to force that shit. And again, I brought this up. I haven't brought it up live yet, but some of this stuff I believe is NFL pressure. Dudes trying to force NFL throws that they're just not. The team itself, the offense itself, the wide receiver core is not ready to handle.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know shit about fuck. Okay, this is just me watching the games and trying to make sense of it, because this game should have been 52-7.
Yeah,
it should have been.
I was calling 48-9, but
the Texas game should have been 49 to fucking 3.
Execution and
Mississippi
and
State.
else.
Actually, you know what? Mississippi State, that was actually probably a really good game. All right. But most of the
that's what
games
happens when your
should
sleep eats.
should have been blowouts. But are we gauging potential when it comes to Carson Beck, or are we gauging actually what happened?
Right.
That's so we got to balance that out. So Carson Beck, he might be ass during the games, and he might be averaging what it seems like 17 turnovers per game, but we're still winning by 2 fucking scores. Now, is that because of the defense, or is that because the offense is actually getting their shit together at some point?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's pivot to a little better topic.
Sorry about the rant, guys. Love you, mean
No,
it.
you're good. You're good. Let's pivot to a little better topic and talk defense right quick.
Wait, what happened? What was that? What was that comment?
Hey, wouldn't it be awesome if you had a defensive line that would beat the shit out of an O-line?
Look at King's advisor.
I have said before, and I will say it again. Right now, I would absolutely trade Georgia's defensive line for South Carolina's in a heartbeat. They are monsters over there. They're fantastic.
At what point has Georgia's defensive line not been dominant?
I just
name me 3 scenarios.
I'm not saying we have a bad defensive line. I'm not saying that at all. I just do think South Carolina's is better.
Oh, they have those 2 edge rushers on both ends.
Yeah, they're
that is a unique position.
Clicking.
South Carolina has a very unique position, and I hope they take advantage of it. Did they end up winning that game, or did they fucking choke?
Come on in.
They must have won because he's here.
44-20, bitch.
Hey, congratulations. I'm happy for you. I'm so glad Georgia doesn't have to play South Carolina this year.
Oh my God. I was sitting there. Yeah. I wanted to turn everything off and go watch the game on my big screen, but I had started the game playing my game, and I was like, I have to keep doing it.
Yep. Well, before you get into that game, did you catch any of the Georgia game?
No.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you back. I caught 32 seconds of it.
Okay, so I'll give you a kind of a breakdown. Georgia's offense is fucking ass, and their defense bailed them out, even though it was a 2-score win.
So, did you watch our game?
Again, I'm like you.
Almost all the way,
I
but not
caught
all.
seconds of it. I've been trying to watch it with this, but I'm dumb.
So to quote you, our offense is kind of ass, and our defense bailed us out. Look,
hey, just go Cox, cock-a-doodle-doo, right?
We beat them by 24 points, but that's
awesome.
Game was anything
home
but.
Game too, right?
Yeah, home game under the lights. I also think it was homecoming.
Caleb, you'd like to know. Oh, well, let me say this too. So today obviously was the Georgia-Florida game. And for that, we have a family tradition in my household here. My wife
gathering dust for a little while.
Sir, my wife is a University of Florida grad. And
that was good. That was good.
My wife is a University of Florida grad. She grew up in Gainesville. The in-laws still live down there. And we make it a point to get together and watch the game every year. And they came up this year again, so we had a nice day. Had some chili dogs, had some Dino Nugs.
You look like you like a good glizzy.
Yeah, you know it. But no,
you know exactly what it means.
The trophy stays with us.
Yeah, like I said, it looks like it's been gathering some dust for a while.
This right here.
Hey, you know what?
They have it backwards, but they made it.
I don't know the exact numbers on this exactly, but I do know this is the first time Georgia has won 4 in a row against Florida in at least 40 years.
First time either team has actually reached 4 in a row.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. But we are now out of the last 50. We are 26 for 25. So,
and again,
wow, that's a pretty even matchup. That's impressive.
Out of the last 50, yeah.
So, Caleb, you can look at the box score, the box stats, and this game looks like it should, like from the non-biased observer. Yeah. But in fact, it was quite the opposite.
Actually, I'll tell you what it looks like. It actually looks like Georgia had their number offensively. That's what the stats make it look like.
So false.
I know.
So false.
So
You have to account for Carson Beck.
Yeah, let me share this. This
being
is Georgia.
Oh, he's got the stats. Give us the stats.
This is Georgia versus Florida. Okay. That looks like Georgia was passing all over Florida all day. And what's so funny about that is now it's annoying that Google is using what's A&M's main color? Is that crimson?
Yeah.
So it's annoying that they're using crimson and then garnet for us. So it's hard to tell. It's not as crisp on this, but this is the Carolina game. Also makes it look like we did run all over them. Holy shit.
Right. Oh, dude, they could not stop fucking nothing.
But the saddest thing is 244 passing, brother. And about 9 minutes in the fourth quarter, that Lenora Sellers was like 9 for 21 with 139 passing.
You know what? We got a few more things to get on the Georgia game, but to get to the South Carolina game, I am impressed by what I watched of South Carolina's offensive line actually holding up. Because that was my doubts. I had no doubts about your defense.
Yeah,
none,
yeah,
zero, zilch. But it was that offensive line.
You know what?
And it wasn't even Lenora Sellers like extending plays. Like there was a couple of them.
Yeah.
But that's not the story of the game.
Quite a few actually. Their quarterback was an absolute baller today.
Dude,
but how many of those were designed?
Probably one.
A couple. A lot of them were scrambles, but quite a few were designed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the offensive line held up within 65%, right? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I'd say so. One of the things that I've been very happy with our team this entire season is every single game they've gotten better. Yeah. And like across the board. And I'll tell you,
Timmy.
I wanted to rag all over him, but I can't remember his name. Let's see. Alex Herrera, our kicker.
Right.
He made some fucking dimes today
in LSU against LSU. I'll give him the LSU kick. It was a very long, I think 54 yards. And almost in the win
today, didn't he?
Yep.
Not to interrupt, South Carolina should have won that game.
I agree.
The officiating had a lot to do with the outcome.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But if we had had any of the kickers we've had in the last decade, we would have tied it and taken it to overtime.
Sure. Okay. Anyway.
And same with the Alabama game. We should never have needed that last second play because he should have made those field goals. But today,
fucking money man,
3 long of 44, 14 points.
Mm-hmm. Hey, is he South Carolina's leading scorer
this season?
No, in general,
really not.
No, hold on.
Probably this season.
Rockets probably got more.
Yeah, Raheem probably, but Alex Herrera, this is his first season.
So I want to get a little bit more into this. Before we do that, are there any more thoughts on the Georgia-Florida game?
I think we teased a lot about talking about Carson Beck, but we never actually did. I think right now we'll circle wagon back to quarterbacks. How about that? Just quarterbacks in general, because I think we need to talk about Cam Ward and about how much of a fucking fraud Miami is. We also need to talk about Will Howard at Ohio State. We need to talk about Drew Allard at Penn State.
Oh, God.
And
Can you just give me a list?
And how about Cade Klubnik tonight?
Hang on. Did they lose?
Oh, it was bad. I don't think they came back.
Hang on.
And then we need to get into Nico, and I think how Tennessee.
Louisville, right?
Ooh.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So we'll circle back. We'll circle.
Oh my God! Yes.
We'll circle back to quarterbacks. All right. We'll circle back because we've teased a lot about Carson. And chat, please keep lighting me up and telling me how much of a dumbass I am. Georgia's winning games with a quarterback that throws 4 picks a game. Anyway,
I've never been happier.
Hell yeah. So you brought up Nico. Matt, if you're ready, I will bring you in. Ladies and gentlemen,
Matt Tween, my buddy.
What's happening, guys?
My brother from another mother. What's going on?
Yeah, you
Hey,
got the icon. We're gonna need it. We're gonna need it.
Yeah, give it here. Let us have it.
Oh, I don't know what to say.
We need a woo.
Nico.
Flair here.
No, woo. Come on, Ric Flair.
Woo!
It was another ugly win for us. You know, we relied on the defense, and the offense finally woke up in the second half, just like we had the last month. You know, first half we left 14 points, and we left 2 touchdowns and probably 2 field goals on the field.
Yeah,
should have had it, but I'll take it. You know, we beat Kentucky. It's always good to beat Kentucky.
So, Matt,
Kentucky's
right.
Everyone was talking shit about Georgia's win on the road at Kentucky. As a Tennessee fan, how legit is Kentucky's defense?
They're not all that right now. They're not what they are. They're a shell of what they were a month ago because they have so many injuries.
Sure.
They were really, really, really deep into their bench today, but they are a good, well-disciplined team for the most part. You earn every yard you get, especially on rushing the ball.
Yeah, look, that defense is nothing to
shab at.
No,
yeah, I mean,
no.
come on,
Mark
guys.
Stoops is a defensive
really
guy.
Good defense.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, you bring up bullshit. You bring up bullshit.
Stop.
Yeah, let's actually take a gander at.
So I didn't get to catch much of the game, Matt. How did Nico look though? Like
Nico still has
quarterback session, but
he's still a little rattled when he's faced with a collapsing pocket or a blitz. He's still feeling the heat. He's not really reading the field like he should, and I think he's still a little hurried.
Sure.
He did a little bit better. He did mature a little bit today. He stepped up and made some throws on the run where in times past he probably would have tried to run it and got tackled. So, and then like I said, he threw 2 perfect passes tonight, 3 perfect passes, and they were all 3 dropped. 2 of them were in the end zone and should have been touchdowns. So, no help from the receivers and the tight ends on that. That needs to be cleaned up, especially after being on a bye for a week.
Right.
But the star of Tennessee's offense is Dylan Sampson. He's a junior, and he just broke the single season rushing touchdown record.
Is he in the Heisman race yet? Because if he's not, he should be.
He's not high enough in it, but
I know it's a
more games to go, so he needs to be there. He's got a chance to break the all-time rushing record.
I don't even care about the stats. And again, I know the Heisman is stats award, and Cam Ward's there because they've played literally wet tissue paper all year.
Nobody, yeah,
right. But Sampson is without him, I don't believe Tennessee would be at the level they are. I know their defense. Right. Your defense is good. And I know your offense has got that high tempo, that tempo, the high explosivity, but without him, it's nothing.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, they pulled him out of the game for a while tonight, but he came back. I think they try to limit his touches.
So on offensive line, is it still the left side that's weak?
It's all over. Oh. Other than the center is the most solid person on our team. It's just
I watched that film you sent me.
Dylan Sampson is getting what he's getting out of it. Yeah.
By the way,
what'd you think about that?
I want to shout out Brooks Austin. I am a Brooks Austin advocate myself. But if you guys want to get to know a little bit of ball, go watch his film breakdowns. He does not only Georgia, but he does most of the highlight teams. And he breaks down who's messing up where or who's doing well where. And it's really good. It's very informative. And if it weren't for that, I would have never – because I thought Tennessee's offensive line back to Tennessee, I thought they were holding up pretty well, and I just thought Nico was just a sham. But no, the left side of the offensive line was caving in almost immediately because what's his face doesn't know how to block. Like it's insane. So instead of blaming individual players,
it's a little bit of both. I would say it's 50-50.
But anyway, back to the shout out. Go watch Brooks. Go watch some film. Be a certified ball knower, if you know what I mean.
Awesome. Yeah, Matt, I didn't really get to watch much of the game. I was focused on the South Carolina upset of Texas A&M for most of the evening, and then I came in here for some show prep. But
congratulations, Caleb! You guys are guys are Kingslayers over there.
Yeah.
Dude,
We could have
playing
been
spoiler in the
I'm
SEC.
glad we don't play you.
Amen. I second
too.
that.
Yeah,
I second that.
Spoiler.
Them and
my
Vandy.
in-laws said the same thing as Florida fans. They're glad not to have to play you either.
Hey,
Dude.
I want to ask this as how forward or how excited are you about that Vandy Tennessee game? Is it in Nashville or is it in Knoxville?
It's in Nashville. It's the last game. This is the most meaningful one we've played this century.
Absolutely.
It might be the most meaningful one you've ever played.
As a Georgia fan, I'm super glad we didn't play Vandy or South Carolina this year.
Correct. This year's Vandy game for you, Matt, is it's got to have you thinking this.
I say, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
Oh no.
They're big team beaters this year, and it
Vandy.
really.
So let's talk about Vandy. Vandy is bowl eligible.
Yes.
Also, they got a fantastic victory over Auburn today. Which when Auburn loses, I'm a happy boy.
Yeah. Oh, I love
on the road. If I'm
the
not
only
mistaken.
time. Yeah, at Auburn
in Jordan Hare.
It's the first time Vandy's ever beat Auburn in Auburn.
Yeah, in Jordan Hare.
Oh, we must have lost
That's
him.
Awesome.
Damn. I wanted to ask him about defensive standouts.
It would be the Thanksgiving weekend.
November 30th.
I don't know if they announced the date.
Yeah. Thanksgiving weekend, Mom.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, something happened.
So, Matt, before you unmute, and if you can hear me, I want to know when you come back who on the defense and what about the defense was the most outish from your observation this evening. Anyway, continue, Caleb.
So Vandy, bowl eligible for the first time. There's 3 games left, and they've got 2 of them in Nashville. South Carolina next weekend. then they've got to go, which is already scheduled for 4:15 in the afternoon.
How does a game between two upsetters go?
Hey, speaking. Let's look into next week.
It's 3:15 in Nashville.
Let's look to next week.
Mm-hmm.
Game day got it wrong next week already.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Well, no, we're not going to talk about it this week.
We're not there yet.
But if they're not going to fucking Vandy, South Carolina next week, they got it wrong.
Did they? They haven't already announced, have they?
I probably not. They'll do it tomorrow, I think. But if it's not Vandy, South Carolina, which it'll never will be, because Vandy doesn't get the tax exemption. They're wrong.
I mean, unless they're. So here's the thing. The problem is if they do that, there's a chance that South Carolina is on 3 game day games this season. Because
there was one season Alabama was in 7 of them.
Yeah, which is Jesus Christ.
Right. Georgia's been in 4 this year, or going to be in 4. I mean,
because end of the year, we have the opportunity to spoil Clemson.
Absolutely.
And that could
Clemson
be now,
lost tonight, right?
Yeah. So actually, I'd probably take it back. I don't think they'll get that game now.
Was that on the road or was that in Death Valley?
In Death Valley, yeah. So that's oh my God. So okay, just a quick little story.
I shouldn't be excited about that as a Georgia fan, but whatever.
One of my best friends from law school finally proposed to his girlfriend yesterday, and then they went and they did it outside Clemson, and then they went to the Clemson game today. She is a South Carolina Gamecock fan, so I just texted her. I said, "You've had a hell of a weekend." got engaged. Gamecocks won, and you got to watch Clemson lose. That's awesome.
Huh. Hell yeah.
I love when South Carolina
get it sorted. What happened, buddy?
fucking lose.
Nope. Still might not be sorted.
Nope. Still not working.
Huh. Oh. We'll get him back in. We'll get him back in here.
Oh God, I had something else. All right, so we anything else you want to talk about A&M, South Carolina?
Fuck. I mean, I could talk.
Well, not all night. Just like off the top of your head, you want to shout it to the rooftops. Let the world know it.
You want to learn how to beat Marcel Reed at A&M? Watch that game.
Amen.
Fucking
close the pocket. Put a fucking center in his lap.
Holy crap! I think it was the first. I think it was the first play of the game. He had to take off because, not first play of the game. First play for A&M.
Yeah. Their first
because 3 giant South Carolina players were in his face in like 4 seconds.
Less is more like 2.5.
That dude shit himself.
Yeah, you can't throw the ball when you got a offensive lineman in your lap.
Now, obviously, he made up for it. Let's see. Well, I kind of take that back. 16 carries for 46 yards. But I mean, let's see. It's not. I'm gonna have to look at team stats.
So while Caleb's looking at that, Matt, did you hear the question I posed to you?
No, I must have missed it. Sorry.
Okay. On defense, who was standout player, and how well did your defense look?
Defense was as good as they've been, most of the year. I would say outstanding player was probably James Pierce.
Right, the edge player, right?
Now, a walk-on safety had his 3rd interception for the year. Will Brooks, so he did well, but mostly Pierce.
Oh yeah, it's always good to have
James Pierce
have a reliable edge guy, man. And I will say for Georgia getting,
even when they were double teaming him, he made the difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brad Eastwood, what's going on?
So this is I think this is the change. This is the turning point for South Carolina's offense. We had 26 first downs tonight.
Dude, that's crazy.
Wow.
We ran 70 plays. We averaged 7.6 a play.
What was your 3rd down conversion?
4 for 13.
Huh?
So 4 for 13. So definitely got to fix that. Theirs was 4 for 15.
Brother, what's that?
But okay, 7 tackles for loss, 3 sacks. Where'd it go? 3 penalties for 25 yards. How do you win a football game?
That's
do
a
not
pretty clean
give
game.
up 3 yards.
Any turnovers?
1 fumble.
Oh, that's right. I did see that. They punched it out. You're muted. Brad, you're muted.
Yeah, I'm talking to Twitter or X, if you know. I don't want to interrupt Caleb while he's going on his monologue about how great South Carolina is. And I just need you to hold on. I just need you to be eating a hot dog while you're saying "Go Cox,"
Well, to be fair.
To
be fair, you did ask him.
I did, but wait, before you continue, I do want to say, as a Georgia fan, I want to say I'm so happy for you that you get to be in this elated state about your team.
Thank you.
I'm going to leave it at that.
Facetious. Also, let's take a pause right quick. Today's bourbon of choice, Angel's Envy. And no, I did not drink all of that today.
I hope not.
Yeah, I would not be coherent if I did.
In fact, I was trying to mute, but because of the way I have to run my stream on Twitter, because I have to screen share it, because I can't run my camera to 2 different programs, I just muted myself on fucking Twitter. Oh my God. Fuck.
It's okay. I
rookie mistake.
I was
Hey, anyway,
playing Dark Souls earlier, and for the first 5 minutes,
let's folks in here talk shit to me, talk shit to Jim, talk shit to Caleb because he likes fucking cocks. Tatooine's pretty cool though, so don't talk shit to him.
While we were at the con last weekend, Beardo had the honor of doing the tour of the con,
right?
And for Geeks and Gamers live, like he was live on Geeks and Gamers and walking around with the gimbal. And for 25 minutes, he had the stream muted.
Oh no!
And no one's sitting there messaging.
No,
hey, you're
the
muted.
chat was going crazy. He just didn't notice.
That is fucking hilarious.
This is so funny, so funny. We love Beardo though. Good guy. Unfortunately, the other USC is not relevant anymore, and I don't think he wants to talk about it.
Unfortunately, I think that's fucking great.
Well, for him, unfortunately.
All right. So we got enough. I want to hear more about XCon and space. And if you didn't meet Elon, you know something's wrong because he literally caught a rocket with chopsticks. But so we've talked a little bit about the SEC. Is there any more notable games in the SEC tonight? I don't think so. No, everyone's marveling at Vandy.
So what I will say, let me pull this up on Twitter. I was kind of in the middle of my stream. I was just kind of scrolling through Twitter as I was running straight. And oh, come on, tell me I bookmarked this shit.
Oh, I hate when I think I did that and I didn't.
I hate when I think I
did.
did.
Okay.
I hate it. Oh, none of you motherfuckers.
Oh,
like
so
you posed the question. Oh, go ahead.
So I let me share this. So what I saw was the first quarter of the Maine Oklahoma game. So let's not see this 28. But the fact that the first quarter of this game was 7-7, Oklahoma, you got some work to fucking do. Holy shit!
But brethren, my brother in Christ, Maine could be equated to Helen Keller School of the Deaf and Blind.
Yeah.
Correct. Can we also turn our attention back?
That's kind of like Texas being like, oh, or like Tennessee throwing up fucking 70 and kicking onside kicks in the fucking first quarter.
I actually picked UMass for this Massachusetts Mississippi State game. I picked UMass, and I'm honestly, I'm happy I was wrong, but I still wish I had been right.
Oh no.
That's a test that we have later on. But I want to acknowledge real quick that South Carolina in this game today, before the half and following into the second half, they ended up going on a 27-0 run to close out the game. Completely unanswered. Texas A&M had nothing. Scoreless for the entire second half. South Carolina did some damn work.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the SEC. We've talked about Georgia, Florida, not in enough detail because I still got a lot of fucking. You got Inferno sauce. I just got hot sauce about Carson Beck. So let's look at the landscape of the playoff of college football right now. Mm-hmm. What the fuck is up, Matt? I want to give it to you because I believe you have some good insight.
You want my opinion on what specifically?
Well, I don't want to necessarily talk about the playoff, but the landscape of college football. Who are the teams going to be there at the end?
Oh, well, let's just start with the SEC. I think Georgia, Texas. A&M probably could still get in there. Depends on. I don't know. Do they have Texas at the last game of the season?
They do.
Yep.
Yes, they do.
Last game of the season. Yep.
All right. So
Regular season.
I mean,
we're leaving out LSU.
LSU's a bubble team. Tennessee, believe it or not, is a bubble team because their strength of schedule is not. We need Vanderbilt to win out between now and November 30th because we need every quality win we can get. All we have left is
that ain't happening. That ain't happening
because we are not.
Vandy can go beat LSU in 2 weeks, and they are losing this weekend.
So they're playing the Cox.
Yeah, right.
Anyway,
right. So hey, they lose to a quality team. I'll take that as a quality loss.
Ooh, there you go.
Either way. So yeah.
5 teams out of the SEC. Or is that 4?
Man, I'm thinking there's just going to be 4. I think there's just going to be 4.
All right.
It really depends on that the strength of schedule.
Well,
Tennessee losing to Arkansas and North Carolina State being a bust does not help us.
No, it doesn't.
We got to beat Georgia. We beat Georgia, we're in.
Sure.
You're absolutely right.
Right.
Let me throw out a little bit of a curveball that people might not have watched this game today, but something that really worries me with our special needs quarterback. We have a game. We have a game against Ole Miss.
Oh,
next week.
No, not yet. We don't need to do this yet.
Bro, there's still I worry about them. I mean, they hung 63 on Arkansas today. And say what you want about Arkansas.
Their defense is anemic.
I understand.
We're trying to get the landscape of college football before the SEC.
But they could really cause some havoc for us.
Sure. Well, I'll put a sticky note on that because
if it comes to a shootout,
Georgia loses.
I am not comfortable with
Georgia
Timmy
loses
there at the helm.
All right, back to the landscape. All right, so you got 4 teams out of the SEC. What are you thinking about the Big 12 and the Big 10?
I still think, well, here's the thing. I think there's going to be one team out of the ACC that's probably going to get jilted.
Well, yeah, there's three of them right now in contention.
Yeah,
you got Pitt.
Yeah. Pitt lost tonight to SMU big time. So there could be a little bit.
So there's 4 teams because SMU's only got the 1 loss out of conference.
Right. So somebody there is going to get cheated out of it, I believe. Yeah. They're going to. I mean, you got the conference championship to deal with. So what have you got? Miami and Clemson, I guess.
Miami, Clemson, Pitt, and SMU. Yeah.
Well, Clemson went down today as well. So there's that. There's that.
Outside chance there's 3 from that conference getting in. You got Ohio State, Penn State, I think, will still be safe. They're okay.
And that was Clemson's second loss.
Oregon.
Yeah, so right now the ACC championship is Miami and SMU.
Okay. So could Clemson get cheated?
I did not know SMU was in the ACC. That just blew my mind.
Yeah. I only found out, I think, like 5 weeks ago.
I don't. Yeah. Can I just say I'm not a fan of this real life?
I'm not either.
Jesus.
Me neither. No, it's terrible.
The hell's it?
So, not to interrupt you, Matt, but I actually think the Big 10 this year is stronger than the SEC.
Yeah, you still got – well, how's Indiana doing still?
I think Indiana's still undefeated because they're on a bye week this week.
Yeah. Indiana.
They play Michigan next week.
Okay, Michigan. I mean, that's
3-3.
That's no challenge this year.
You're
right.
Illinois. I think they lost to Minnesota today, though.
And Ohio State.
Yeah.
The officiating in that game. Oh my God! Don't get me on a soapbox.
I didn't watch any of it.
Ooh,
I didn't see it.
Penn State or Ohio State got 10 free points in the first quarter. I'm just going to throw that. Yeah, they got 10 free points. Yeah. But I agree. There's well, not only do I think the Big Ten stronger than the SEC this year, but as a Georgia
or the ACC,
the SEC, the Sierra Echo Charlie.
Earlier
Sorry
you
about my
said
accent.
ACC.
I had a few beer as well, so I might not be enunciating well.
That's okay.
I have to take my Georgia glasses off right here when I say this. So Georgia fans, it is what it is. Come talk shit. Let me know in the comments. I don't think Georgia's got a fucking chance in hell to win a natty this year.
Wrong. You're fake news.
I have a quick question.
Not a chance.
So kind of a joke question. Is there a Pac-12 championship game this year?
No.
The Pac-12
there's two
doesn't
teams.
exist. Pac-12
There's two teams.
It's not even a power conference.
No. I'm just curious. Because I mean, they do play each other in like 2 weeks. But I'm curious.
That's it.
But is there not a Pac-12 championship game?
Do they have to play again?
Only in their minds. Only in their minds. A moral victory.
Speaking of jokes, but not jokes, how about Colorado getting their way into the fucking playoffs? Huh?
Did they fucking win tonight?
Brother,
I'm gonna wear that one out.
Oh yeah,
It's so appropriate.
Yeah, how did they end up today? Who did they play today?
Cincinnati.
Okay. Did they win?
Yeah, they won 34-23.
Okay.
They're going to go 10-2 and get the playoffs.
Sorry. They're on a bye week.
They're on a bye week.
So
they're
going
to go 10-2 and be the 12 seed behind Boise State at the 11 seed.
And where do you have
BYU's still in the mix?
Yep.
Well, and what are they?
BYU's Big 12. So BYU's got to win the Big 12 against either Kansas State or
who lost today? Yeah.
Or,
Kansas State lost to Houston.
Iowa.
Is it Iowa State?
Iowa State, yeah.
Yeah, Iowa State.
Iowa State, who lost today, also.
Yeah. So you got BYU looking as a front runner there. So we pretty much got our playoff bracket right there. I think that was actually 14 teams we named, but close enough for government work.
Okay, well, hang on a second, because there's a bunch of other teams that are you got Army and Navy. Where are you gonna put them?
Well, they got to beat Boise State. They got to be higher ranked because it's the highest ranked highest ranked group of 5 gets automatic bye.
Right, and conference champions, no matter where they're at, still get in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that blows that, dude.
They're in even if they're ranked.
That's going to change next year.
Yes, absolutely.
They are going to change that next year.
So I got a little bit in. Matt got his in. Let's go to somebody else. What do you guys think about the landscape? What are you seeing?
Well, I'll go ahead and say today, of course, we had quite a few upsets. Obviously, we had South Carolina upsetting number 10 Texas A&M. Oregon handled business. You had Ohio State beating Penn State. I don't know if we call that an upset because I don't think Penn State was number 3.
No, but also
technically that was an upset. And I think they will now be ranked a little closer to appropriate. Miami struggle bust a little bit more with Duke, but you could also say the same with us with Florida. Let's see. Obviously, Clemson losing. That changes that a little bit, but they could also still cause problems in the ACC for whatever shakes out.
Hang on.
Kansas State lost to Houston today as well.
So, College Game Day announced their location next week 13 hours ago.
Already?
Yeah, 13 before half the games that are even
Alabama LSU, let me guess.
Alabama LSU.
Yeah, they got it wrong. I'm going to go ahead and ruin next week's segment. They got it fucking wrong.
We shall definitely.
Yeah, I would have thought it'd been.
If it's not
Georgia Ole Miss next week.
If it's not South Carolina Vandy, you're fucking wrong. You're fucking wrong. Hey, Sundowners Club. I want you to explain to me in exquisite detail in the comments how Ole Miss is going to beat Georgia next week. Anyway,
I sent him the link. He might get on here.
Yes, it won't be by getting cramps.
It will not.
How about that? Ole Miss did not have cramps today. How about that?
Hey, there was
What a miracle.
There was one of them
They
that
were
were
hydrating.
questionable. There's one.
Yeah, one maybe. I saw their running back got hurt.
Instead of 17.
He was selling it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was selling it.
I have a question. Penn State. So game day was at Ohio State, Penn State. And so, they always bring out a famous person from that school. Is Keegan-Michael Key the only famous person from Penn State?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I just
it's their Matthew McConaughey. Like they can't have anyone else. Like that's it. That's all they got. That's all they can do. That's it.
Yeah.
That's really good.
All right, Caleb. Hey, so your landscape observations, how do you see the landscape of college football right now?
So it's weird. I'm kind of mixed on this because I'm not a huge fan of NIL. I'm not a huge fan of the transfer portal and the way it stands today. But I don't think anything has spread the goods across college football like they have in 30 years.
Decades.
Yeah. I don't think we've seen a unstoppable team in this entire. There's no one that is unbeatable. I don't think we'll see 2021 Georgia, a 2019 LSU,
you might make a case for Oregon.
Well, to caveat on what you're saying, Caleb, there's also no game plan that's dominant. So like the 2017 to 2020, you had these high-powered offenses.
Yeah, just air it out.
Right. But years before that, it was defenses. No Sundowners. I said exquisite detail, not generic.
That's actually a pretty
that's just very much the definition of winning.
Yeah, that's not exquisite detail.
Yeah.
But years, 16 to 16 or 10 to 16, it was all about defense.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there's none of that now too. So anyway, that was just a caveat to what you're saying.
Yeah, no, I think it's very interesting how, and again, I don't like it. I think there are better ways to spread the goods. I think the 12-team playoff would have done it without NIL. And without the transfer portal the way it is. I think the transfer portal needs to go back. It is retarded that some guy can sit there and go, man, I didn't get enough catches. I'm going away.
Right.
Or that, so we have, I'll give you an example. Kyle Kennard leading the SEC in sacks right now, 8.5. I know for a fact that there were teams calling him saying, we will give you more money, to the point that Shane Beamer had to call the ADs at those schools and tell them one more phone call and I am going to the NCAA.
Right.
And I mean, this is nothing new. We know this happened. Ole Miss did it with
Juice.
Thank you. Juice Wells. What's his name in Colorado does it every week. Starts calling players and saying, hey, come play for prime time. It happens across the board.
This system
has got to stop this.
This system is going to inevitably do this. It's going to make the rich richer, and so the top 60 are going to be fucking super close together.
Yeah.
Well, super close. And then the bottom 75 after that, nowhere close. That's all NIL is going to do.
Yeah, it is going to make one of the things that I love about the cupcake games, I know Jim hates them, but one of the things that I love about them is they allow the players on those teams to play in incredible atmospheres. They allow those guys to ball out. There are opportunities. I'll give you an example. As much as I hate it, when South Carolina played the Citadel in 2016 and lost, there was a running back on that team that I went to high school with I probably shouldn't have said that, who absolutely killed us, and I hated it. But he loved it, and he actually got invited to go play for the Falcons. The Falcons signed him as an undrafted free agent. He obviously didn't make it, all that shit. But without that ability to stand out on a big stage, what have happened? Right. So those are the kind of stories that come out of games like that. Not only that, but games like that fund a large portion of those schools' athletic budgets. Like, App State. App State has made millions off of that Michigan game.
Absolutely.
Like, and then we paid them 1.2 to come to South Carolina to do almost the same fucking thing.
Well, A&M also paid a pretty penny for them to.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that was so much fun. And then they got in trouble for the midnight yell shit.
All right, so I don't want to get too down into the rabbit holes here, but we haven't gotten to your landscape view.
No, I talked about it. About
you talked about NIL.
Yeah, I just I don't think there's a single team. I know Jim mentioned Oregon, but I don't think there's a single team that's unbeatable. I don't think there's more talent spread across than I think there's ever been, at least in my lifetime.
I agree to that statement wholeheartedly.
Yeah, but I don't think NIL and the transfer portal is the way to do it. I think the 12-team playoff would have done it well enough.
All right, Jim, you're up. You're up, big dog. Oh man!
Whoa,
hey, look at that pretty face.
Whoa,
hey.
Question. Over under. You're muted, Matt. By the way, over under. Alabama getting to the playoffs.
Over under what? I need a number.
I don't know. Yes or no, basically.
No.
I don't think so. I think there's too many available options.
Tennessee will get in over Alabama this year.
You don't think Espin will play lead blocker on that if they stay?
The Bamaganda lost its luster when they lost to Vandy.
Alabama is sixth in the SEC. They've still got to play LSU. I think LSU is going to beat. If LSU beats Alabama, I mean it's in Death Valley.
Obviously, then they're done.
Most likely,
they're obviously done.
I don't know if it's been scheduled the time yet, but my guess is night game. Alabama's got no shot. I think
got teams
Alabama
like A&M.
lost their chance. Yeah, Alabama lost their chance when they couldn't beat South Carolina by a lot.
Yeah, the Bamaganda died a little bit when Nick Saban left, and then it completely died when Vandy beat them. On
Maryland, Wisconsin, and Washington.
Correct. Washington is probably the only other struggle. They might end up.
I think Maryland's way better than Washington. That's just.
I'll tell you right now. I would love nothing more than to watch Oregon beat Maryland by 100 points.
That would be lovely.
You don't like Maryland?
Lovely.
So South Carolina had a 5-star recruit 2 years ago. You remember this? 2 years ago, South Carolina was recruiting this guy. He was going to be. It was a coup. He announced on Twitter the night before signing day, "I'm going with South Carolina," and we were ecstatic. He signs national letter of intent. He wears the South Carolina hat on game day, or ESPN's coverage.
Yep.
2 days later, he reverses and goes to Maryland. Maryland's coach, the head coach of Maryland, called Beamer and said, "Just so you know, he's coming to us." This was a stunt that Maryland organized to get people watching Maryland. And they still came and fill out their fucking stadium. I hate Maryland. Almost more than I.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
Damn right. Obviously.
Sure. Yeah. There's still a good chance that Oregon goes completely undefeated.
Yeah.
In the regular season. As of now, who do you I guess it would have to be Ohio State, right? Ohio State in the a rematch for because they no longer have divisions up there either. So it'd probably be Ohio State in their
No, it's going to be Indiana. Indiana's number one in that conference. Indiana's only got okay, so it's going to depend. Indiana has to play Michigan, then Ohio State, and then Purdue. If Indiana beats Ohio State, well, hang on. So they're 6-0 right now.
Yeah, let's shake it out.
Who did I say? Michigan. They beat Michigan and Purdue. So that's 2 wins. That makes them 8-0. Lose to Ohio State. That's 8-1. Ohio State is 4-1 in the conference right now. They have to play Purdue, Northwestern, Indiana, and Michigan. So Ohio State has to win out to go to that championship game. Right. If Indiana beat tied, and Ohio State would hold the tiebreak.
I want to get to something, Sundowners, even though I have
Did you just actually him?
Again, Sundowners brought up a good point about Notre Dame. How are you guys feeling about Notre Dame?
Who?
I want to save myself last for this one.
Sundowners is a Notre Dame fan.
Notre Dame probably gets in.
Oh, absolutely, they get in.
Espen loves them some Notre Dame.
With a loss to NIU.
So here's the
Florida
thing.
State, Virginia,
No, they don't. Notre Dame doesn't get in. Because Notre Dame's going to have 2 more losses at the end of the season because Army and Navy are going to beat them.
Navy already lost.
They don't play Navy. Oh, yeah, they do. They beat Navy today.
Notre Dame already smacked that ass.
They stomped them last weekend.
Corn boy, what's up, buddy? Corn boy.
So they got Florida State.
That is the nice thing about a bye week. I did look at a fucking scoreboard.
Sorry, and again, everyone who's watching, I want to apologize for not being here last week. I pulled a longer than should be humanly advised awake stint where I stayed up for more than 48 hours and I passed out at like 8 o'clock. So, but
yeah, I was going to give Caleb full authority to go ahead and do a live stream over here.
But Notre Dame. So, yeah, sorry, Jim.
Should have done that.
I just waved to you to my left, like you were actually on my left as I'm looking at you. Oh my God. So Notre Dame, thank you. To my right. Sorry. So Notre Dame, right? They lose to NIU. They bitch out of a fucking conference game and their schedule is softer than wet tissue. You might as well call it fucking Cottonelle.
And South Carolina just made their win against Texas A&M look worse. So,
how are they still getting in the playoffs, Caleb?
Look, they do this every year.
Because they do this
every fucking year. They do. I'll tell you, it is the same thing as Southern Cal every year. There is one school that anyone gives a shit about, fucking west of the fucking Mississippi, and it's Southern Cal. And because of that, because they've got billions of dollars, they get to shoehorn themselves into the top 10 every single year. Then they win 6 games a season, and everyone goes, "Oh my God, Southern Cal's back."
We'll take them. We'll take them. We'll take them.
Well, it was the same thing in the 2010s. The 2010s. It was Notre Dame, it was USC, and it was Ohio State every year.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, they're the greatest thing since sliced bread.
And how many national championships did either of them win?
Can we pause on that? Like,
Ohio State won one.
To be a fly on the wall when the first person sliced a loaf of bread, it must have been
actually making a loaf.
I mean,
kind of like Notre Dame.
Hang on.
The fucking loaves.
It wasn't. It's slicing bread wasn't that incredible. It was the selling of pre-sliced bread.
Kind of like bottled water, if you think about it, but not to get too deep into it.
Well, actually, over here, but your metaphor made no sense.
That looks like my spitter.
Oh, that's nasty.
Brother,
take a close look at this. This is actually orange. I don't know if my camera picks up that color enough.
Yeah. I mean, a little bit, yeah.
This is orange drink. It's not orange juice. It's orange drink.
You know, with an orange
drink. You know, a shout out to my fellow Tennessee fan over there.
It's a pee bottle.
I approve.
That's hilarious.
All right, Willis. So
Matt,
who are you asking?
Hold on. I got a question for Matt right quick.
All right.
Yeah.
Matt, in the Big Ten, who are the two in their championship for the conference? Right now, in your mind, who's playing Oregon?
Oh.
It's gotta be Indiana.
But I can't keep up with their divisions or whatever. Do they do the divisions anymore?
No,
or is it just top two?
No one has divisions.
You're thinking Indiana over Ohio State?
Me personally, yes.
So they play each other in 2 weeks, and that will decide.
Okay.
That will decide.
So that'll be that'll be the playoff within a playoff.
Yep, it's the preliminary.
And where do they play?
Ooh,
I want to say it's
interesting.
At Ohio State.
At Ohio.
Okay, favor Ohio State.
Got to.
I think it's Ohio State and Oregon.
Yeah, I concur.
And Ohio State wins that in the neutral site, right?
And the neutral site, it was pretty close. Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
because that was at Oregon. That was at
Interesting.
Oregon.
Yeah.
Okay. Caleb, ACC.
It's Miami and probably SMU. Well, hang on. Let's see what Clemson has.
Wow! What a curveball!
Let's go Broncos.
What a Yeah,
let's go.
Pull up your ACC.
So here is Clemson's rest of their schedule. Virginia Tech, they're probably going to win that. I think they lose to Pitt.
I wouldn't put it past Virginia Tech actually getting them.
And I will eat my hat, or I will do something.
Yeah,
insane.
hold on. Don't pull a Florida State fan now. Don't agree to something that you don't want to do.
I will do something crazy. I don't know what it is. If the Citadel beats Clemson, I will do something. I don't know what it is.
Red Solo Cup involved or no?
And then SMU, Boston College, Virginia, and Cal. So I think SMU actually has an easier.
They got a better out.
Yeah. Easier path for sure.
I mean, they could.
But how much do you trust SMU? I don't know how much.
Well, so here's the thing. They don't play each other. SMU is undefeated in conference.
Right.
Clemson is not. So SMU just has to win out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so how does the ACC do a tie break if the two of them didn't play each other?
Are there common opponents?
Is it? Oh, God, that's such a dumb way to do it.
Yeah, like there for a time, it would have been like if Vandy would have won out, it would have been a tiebreaker between Georgia and Alabama and Vandy and Alabama, and Vandy would have got over.
The three-way rule is okay. So it would be it's still a two-way tie for third if SMU loses a game and they'd be 7-1 in conference.
They don't have
that right.
They don't
Clemson
have.
has 2 conference games left. SMU has 3. So yeah, if SMU lost a game, they'd both be 7-1.
And SMU's loss is out of conference, correct? To BYU.
Yeah.
Yep.
But Clemson, maybe they go by overall.
Well, for conference championship, because that's the one getting into the automatic bye, right?
Mm-hmm.
But even getting into the playoff picture, we're talking 4 teams, as we discussed earlier, 4 teams from the SEC, probably 5 teams from the Big Ten, and then 2 teams from the ACC, or one team from the ACC, 1 team from the Big 12.
So this is what I think you need to do it. Okay, let's say Miami wins the ACC championship, so they're in. Oregon wins the Big Ten, so they're in. And Georgia wins the SEC, so they're in. What's the other one? Big 12. BYU wins, so they're in. So those 4. Okay.
Yep.
Let's go to the ACC. Who else is in?
It's got to be either
probably SMU.
Yeah.
Yeah, so probably SMU. So there's 5. Big 12. Does Iowa State get to go?
Do we have a counter, because we're going to lose track?
Yeah, I'm counting on my hand.
So I think Iowa State gets in.
Okay, there's 6.
Only if a Big Ten team has more than 3 10-2 teams.
But
right. So 10-2. So Oregon's getting in. Ohio State's getting in if they don't lose to another game. Then you got Penn State to worry about, and then you got Indiana to worry about. So that's 4. So if one of those loses another game, only 3 of them are going to get in.
Right.
Okay.
Brad, before we get too deep in the weeds of the overall picture.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I want you to break down the Big 12.
The Big 12. So this is a very interesting thing. I'm not a prime believer. I think he's an arrogant, pompous asshole. But he has done great things for Colorado.
He's winning.
But Colorado is going to go 10-2, and everyone's going to fucking laugh in my face and tell me I'm dumb. But it's going to end up being Colorado and BYU in the Big 12 championship, and both of those teams are going to get in the playoffs.
And you don't think Iowa State is
No.
They're the only other possible contender, though, right?
Who does Iowa State lose to?
They pull the Iowa and lose to whoever. It doesn't matter.
That would be the only other contender, though, right?
It would
Iowa
be.
State.
Yeah, Kansas State is out.
Yeah, K-State just lost today.
Kansas wasn't anything. Oklahoma State shit the bed, even though they have what's his name?
UCF at all?
Yeah,
No,
Gus Bus is negative.
UCF at 2-4.
Yeah,
they're real bad. They're real bad. Utah shit the bed real hard.
The fighting Dillinghams, they were doing good, but then they dropped a game. So Iowa State's going to lose to someone unexpectedly, and Colorado is going to coast, and BYU is going to play Colorado in the Big 12.
Who wins, Brigham Young or Colorado?
The Mormons, the BYU win it and get the bye. BYU. Everyone's
concur.
Everyone's sleeping on BYU. They are a solid team.
I do.
So
agree.
I was watching Jim. What game was that we were watching? The BYU. Was it?
I think it was Arizona.
Shit, was that long ago? No, it wasn't. They destroyed. It was Oklahoma State because they destroyed.
Oh, you're right. It was Oklahoma State. That was the Pac-12 after dark game we were watching.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now BYU is 9th, but what's their strength of schedule going to end up being?
They've actually had it's hard to compare because we also have conference biases, and I think we have blue blood biases as well as college football fans. But BYU's strength of schedule is relatively strong, in my opinion. Because they've beat Oklahoma State.
They beat SMU.
They beat Baylor. They beat SMU. Even though Dave Aranda is what he is, he's a great football coach and he usually fields a great team. Oklahoma State, Ted Gundy is like the most solid 10-2 coach there is.
Fuck, I think he said Ted Bundy there for a second.
BYU,
Mike Gundy.
Yeah, Mike Gundy. My bad. Excuse me.
I
had a few too many shotguns earlier. Sorry.
To quote the great T-Pain,
I agree.
All BYU does is win, no matter.
I agree, Corn Boy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, BYU is going to be BYU. Colorado is going to sneak in only because of the principle I mentioned earlier of the Bama Ganda. I don't know how to fit Colorado into Ganda, but it's going to be the Colorado Ganda
Right.
because television time loves talking about Deion Sanders.
Oh yeah, I can
Even
see
though
that.
even though it's more profitable to talk about them losing and making it a complete fool of
And-
themselves, they're going to sneak their way in. Like, look at and then you got Travis Hunter, who's the presumable Heisman winner as well. Like, they're going to coast their way. They're going to coast. Now they might get blown out in the first round of the playoffs unless they get officiating help, which is another topic completely about officiating the season, not only in NCAA but also in the NFL. But
by the way, I do have to say, okay, officiating has been a hot topic for me. Today,
quiet week or quiet day today.
did you not watch the Penn State Ohio State game?
No. My game.
Oh, your game. Oh,
there were a couple of there. I think there was one call that was missed that I saw. Obviously, I was playing game while I was doing it, so I didn't see the entire 100% of the game. But there was one call. It was a late hit on Lenora Sellers that he went out of bounds, and about 2 or 3 seconds later, the A&M player like slammed his back. That's a flag. But that's the only call that I saw that was really missed.
How about your game, Matt? How's officiating in the Tennessee-Kentucky game today?
Really surprising. Our opponents got called for holding.
Whoa!
Finally, multiple times. I would say 4 or 5 times. So I would say it's more fair.
Kentucky had 10 penalties for 71 yards, and Tennessee had 9 for 77. So, yeah, it's pretty even across the board there.
How about you, Jim? What do you think about Georgia, Florida officiating?
I understand why they threw the flag for the targeting. I was pleasantly surprised that they picked it up because it was a good, clean tackle. It was just a very intense hit. So I get it. I get why they do it. And they made the right call. They picked it up. As far as fairness, the rest of the game for us, I think it was pretty much right on par. There wasn't a whole bunch of pass interference stuff.
Georgia got away with one. They got away with them.
Florida had 5 penalties for 42, and Georgia had 5 for 48.
Yeah.
So
I still stand. I know not to cut you off, Jim. I think the most fairly officiated called game this year for the University of Georgia was in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah,
because I saw Damon Wilson again today being held by the collar and the face mask, and not a single holding call was thrown. Florida did get one holding call today or 2. Which I'm like, Matt, I'm surprised an opposing offense got called for holding against
for the
Georgia.
most part, they just let us play the game.
Yeah.
Most of our penalties were procedural. So that's
but going more broad, the only game I really watched today, other than the Georgia game, because I was too busy drinking beer, was the Penn State Ohio State game, and Ohio State was gifted 10 points because of officiating, and it just it immediately what's the word, tilted, I guess is a word. It tilted so badly.
What was the circumstance? So obviously it's a field goal and a touchdown. So tell us about touchdown.
So circumstance 1 was a dropped pass that ended up being called complete.
Okay.
And another one was
where on the field is that?
So that one was it was Ohio State. They were crossing the 50, so it wasn't like super close, but it made a big deal.
They still had to do some work,
right? Yeah. But the next
it's still a big
right. It was a big momentum, a significant momentum shift, and the next one was an unnecessary roughness call on Penn State because a dude got a stop on 3rd down, made it 4th and 4, got up, and like it. Now to me, I want to take my biasy out of this because I do hate Ohio State.
Oh, absolutely.
But the Penn State player did get up and like step over the Ohio State player, but they called an unnecessary roughness on it and gave them the first down in scoring
that
position.
right there. This right here.
Yeah,
so
that
I
right
saw,
there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
yeah. Okay. So A&M did the same thing to us today.
And
I watched a A&M lineman, whatever, step over. I think it was Lenora Sellers, and he didn't need to. Like it was very clear he decided to step over him. And
right.
I think that should be a flag. I don't know if it should be taunting. I don't know if it should be unsportsmanlike conduct, but you get up and you walk away. You do not step over.
So I think
that's an issue.
I agree, but the way it looked like in real time did not look like taunting, did not look like belligerence, did not look excessive. It was just like real time. Now they show the replay and but that was a third down stop to make it 3rd and long. Hey, Real Wood, you're right. Real Wade. God, I can't even read. Can't even read.
Oh, wait. What?
My brethren in Christ. Oh, God.
Look at this.
But that call right there gave them a touchdown. Oh, Kelsey, no.
What the fuck?
What's he doing?
Issue? Well, Buffalo Wild Wings would be happy to see that.
That's right. But I do want to give credit to Ohio State. They did make a great interception at the end of the first half. Great play on the ball. Way to have body control. Way to have a heads up play.
Damn.
Ohio State did make good plays, but I will not negate and I will stand on this hill 10 toes down that Ohio State was gifted 10 points in the first half.
Bro, look at this. Look at this fumble Penn State caused.
Mike, I probably agree with you. I think here's the tough part. Is there enough to overturn?
Ooh.
You know, because I think
yeah, he lucked out on that.
That's a catch, football move. That's a fumble.
All right, so Waden, what do you mean Big 12 is better parity? I do want to get into that.
Brad, don't.
No, don't
need. There's no need.
Mike, I probably agree with you. Here's the tough part.
So A&M. Okay, so we when we were scoring the I think go ahead touchdown. It was a long shit. I don't even remember now.
It was a long shit.
Let's see. Yeah, okay. It was the 52-yard Rocket Sanders touchdown. A&M, you know, I can't normally see the, I don't want to call it football movement, but the attempt to cause the fumble was so obvious that it was actually kind of a cool thing to see.
Sure.
That the A&M player knew he only had one shot. There was only one thing he could do, and it was try to cause a fumble. And just seeing the arm try like go around him and hit the ball, it was pretty cool. Like it was one of those things that you just it was cool. I liked it. But I do want Jim. I've got something for you. It's why I wish we had had it last week. But we were talking about targeting, and here is what should be the book. This is targeting.
Is this NFL?
Is going to be kicked out of
Ooh, launching like crazy.
Crown of the helmet.
Launch. Yeah.
Kicked out of this game. Still on the turf.
Did they call that targeting or no?
Pickles is coming in. Pickles, the backup QB, about to get his second snap of the year.
Nice to see
Jesus Christ.
Towards the official.
Fucking, he got sent straight into his leg right there.
As well. That's definitely
Dude, that is fun.
That's textbook. That's textbook. Caleb, I need to address this.
Yeah.
Are y'all for real? What the fuck is this?
Oh,
what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You got a problem with us rushing the field for beating the number one team in the SEC?
Beating A&M?
Yes.
So here, okay. I have a question for y'all.
Let them have fun.
Have y'all been on Twitter this week?
No, I don't even have a Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
I've been doing political stuff.
Has anyone else seen? Okay, I see more South Carolina stuff than y'all, but there's been this thing going around about the A&M South Carolina game being the best rivalry in the SEC. Which no, Brian, you don't even have to look like that. We all know that ain't true. Okay, we all know that. But this thing, both schools' Barstool accounts have been propping this up. All sorts of shit have been talking about this. And I'm like, where the fuck did this come from? Like, does anyone know any origin story about this?
It had to have started like 4 years ago when you guys started playing.
Bro,
something
Caleb,
happened.
You're gonna like
12,
this.
But yeah.
Well,
Patrick,
semantics.
Thank you for being here, my man.
Who's
Thank
Patrick?
You, I have no idea.
Hey,
I believe he lives under a rock under the sea.
I mean, I kind of agree with the statement. I actually said that multiple times watching the Florida game.
This will get you 6 to midnight. This right here is your quarterback balling today.
I think I know which one this is.
Yes. Boom.
Oh, yes.
Good for him.
Oh, dude.
Good for him.
That was, and dude, I tell you,
Lay
I
in
get
the
so
woods.
scared. Anytime he runs, I get scared.
But
he fucked up in the first quarter because he had another 5 yards to get a first, and he didn't take it. And that was him taking those 5 yards. Obviously, it was a 5, but that was that was a hit.
Here's another view. Act like you've been here before. Yeah. Oh, the goalpost came down too.
There it goes.
Seriously?
Went down like a paper straw.
We put the goalpost down after every game.
Oh, it's got the quick pins.
They go down after every game. Yeah. Look. Here's the thing. South Carolina this season and kind of in the last 2 seasons has been looking for that moment.
Yeah.
A lot like the Tennessee game was 2 years ago. And this was that moment. And I think I've been on that field and every single person in that stadium wanted to be on that field.
Right.
It is a magical moment. And in fact, the only thing I'll give to Southern Cal is it is fucking cool that you could pay to go run out with the team.
Oh.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
You're absolutely right. I completely understand. It's just.
But I do get what you're
for
saying.
Texas A&M.
Yeah, I do get what you're saying.
But it's fun as a fan. I get it.
Yeah, and if this had been maybe 2 weeks later and they were like 8-0 and number 4 in the country, much bigger. They're number 10. Not that big.
Or to be fair, Tennessee did it again for Alabama,
which
felt out of place.
Yeah,
but
we didn't need to do it.
Yeah,
we didn't need to do it. It was not necessary.
Y'all didn't tear your goalpost down.
No, they did.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
we should negate the fact that South Carolina is becoming the darling of college football this season, along with Vandy.
Bro,
I don't know who's winning.
Every single
I don't know
South
who's
Carolina
winning that
I've watched.
race.
Because we'll find out tomorrow or next week.
We'll find out next week.
Except for their Ole Miss game, that was hard to watch.
Look, it's just and again,
we have those games.
That game is a beautiful game because what it showed is that defense doesn't quit. Dude, you're down 23 to
how many first rounders are on that front 7?
You're right.
4, I think,
at least
this season. 2 or 3. But Dylan Stewart, I mean, Kyle Kennard could go number 1, depending on who needs what.
Yep.
But Dylan Stewart's a fucking freshman, so he's going to be leading that defense, assuming we pay him.
Well, assuming he also doesn't plateau. So that brings in a development question.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So
I want to circle back real quick.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about officiating and calls. I was reminded about one call that I thought was horse shit and bananas. We scored a touchdown and the player did the gator chomp, and we got an unsportsmanlike for that.
And they enforced it on the kickoff. What bullshit! And
that's complete and utter horse shit. That is just like the horns down. Like, no.
So there is an actual SEC rule about that.
Yes.
Taunting.
The flag should have been thrown. However, it should have been enforced on the PAT, not the kickoff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Either way, I think the flag for that is stupid. Let the boys play ball, man.
But that wasn't really playing ball. That was kind of like flexing.
So what?
I mean, I don't disagree with you.
So what? It's a rivalry game.
But there is a
also
one
you
can't
important. And you cannot say we will not penalize horns down and then penalize the gator chomp.
Yes.
Correct.
But I'm really happy they're not going to penalize horns down.
I don't like it. And also, Caleb, you're a lawyer. You could
lawyer.
You could say he was just clapping in an unorthodox way.
They got more chromosomes than us. They clap like this. Sorry.
I don't think you're going to win that one, bud.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's clapping.
Timmy!
He's clapping.
Maybe if Carson Beck had done it, they would have bought that. But
they would have took pity. This is a good point. We've made a lot of chromosomal jokes. Let's
I told you to not let me do those.
The opinions discussed here today do not accurately depict the true thoughts and beliefs of Star Wars Talk or the invited guests. The statements spoken do not constitute any jurisdictional relationship between the viewer and Star Wars Talk. All opinions are spoken under the protection of the First Amendment and protected by constitutional law and Supreme Court precedents. By viewing said content, you agree to hold Star Wars Talk and all guests innocent of any lawsuits and indemnify them from any suits or damages that may arise from any content. You also agree to acknowledge that any lawsuit you do bring shall be under the rules and laws of the Republic of Djibouti. Primary jurisdiction shall fall under the Commonwealth of Botswana. All rights reserved.
Right,
Jim, I told you not to let me do them.
Now we're clear.
And you failed. You had one job. Okay.
What do y'all think about this?
The fines?
Yeah, the fines.
So I'm actually super excited that Greg Sankey did this.
Me too.
Because now it'll set a precedent for the other commissioners, I guess we'll call them. Because I don't know the other word to use them.
Probably chancellors.
Chancellors. Emperors.
Lane Kiffin must be suspended.
Now Kentucky went ahead and did it tonight. They had several that I thought were blatant. Everybody thought they were blatant.
So we had one. We had one that I think there's a decent chance it wasn't. He at least wasn't hurt enough to actually need the medical staff to come out. He could have got up and got off the field.
So as a lawyer. And then associate about a 60-40 split, 60 being on the fandom side. How do you prove this?
So what? No, you don't prove it. What you do is you establish a rule that says if your player is hurt, he is out for the possession. Or you add the concussion protocol thing to it. Then the other thing I think you do is you give the refs the ability to throw flags. I'm guessing this is now a penalty. Yeah, fake injury penalty. Well, so it's penalties against the head coach, but I assume there's a penalty on the field.
No.
It can't be a penalty for injured player because like the referees have no say so. All they can do is stop the game. And that's the way it should be.
Yeah. So
however,
I think it's what you do is
you have to keep them out for the possession. You have to,
and how you decide when to find the coach is you watch the penalty, or you watch the injury. If it's the Ole Miss player just going, that's a fine. If it's in our case, the guy that got up out of the bottom of the pile, kind of walked a bit and then kind of fell down, I think you let that go. But if it's the guy was clearly signaled to fall down, that's a fine.
Yeah.
It's still going to be tough.
I still stand by if a player does that, we have to take all injuries seriously, and I understand that aspect. If a player does that, he needs to be out for the rest of the series. I mean, if it's that bad that you have to collapse on the field,
at least
play, you should be out for the rest of the series.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
or five plays or whatever it is.
Yeah,
something.
That way it can overlap that possession.
Yeah.
But
see, then again, though, there's a loophole in that. And not to give any ideas to these head coaches, but they could also put a third string out there.
Every single one of them is watching us right now.
Well, no, I'm just saying, but they could put a third string out there just to do that, and then it makes no difference, right? You're not going to have a starter do that, but still same. I don't know.
Same rule applies. Like if you go down, you're out. I don't even care about 5 plays. You're out the possession. Like, bro, if you had to go down, tough shit.
Score a punt. You're not coming in until the offense gets the balls again.
Yeah.
Like it is what it is. I think that's the only way to negate like most of the debauchery.
It'll at least make a statement and say, "Hey, we're not here for this. We're not. I'm not doing this." There's a lot of things that officiating needs to clean up, and that's certainly one of them. I think micro tips into football would be fantastic because they're wild placements sometimes, which we didn't have any issues today, of course, but it does happen. And when I see them pull the chains out on a game, I roll my eyes so hard. Like these guys literally just pick a random fucking spot where they think they were on the field to set the lead chain, and then they pull it. Like what?
Yeah, we need to take
You're
as
literally
much
picking
power.
a random spot.
We need to take as much power away from the officials as
Hang on one
we
second,
humanly can.
Jim.
I agree.
Repeat that again.
Like when they spot the ball and they actually bring the chains out to like do the whole showman thing.
Yeah, the initial spot of the
lead
ball.
one that comes out, right? They run on a line, but they don't place it where the first down started exactly.
That's
they
because
can be off by inches.
That's because the ref holds the middle.
Yeah, there's a spot marker.
And
there's a little. There's like there's a
line.
thing on the chain that goes on a yard line that's designated each time they move, so it stays on that yard line. So the chains are spread out equally distributed from that.
But what
yard
I'm
line.
saying is, when they come from the sidelines and come out to the middle of the field, you have the potential for a couple of inches here or there.
Are you talking about the ball or the
spot?
Are you talking about the ball or the chains?
The chains.
No. So they got a little on the. If you look at the chain, there's like a little thing that is the exact length of a yard line, like on the fives. That yard line, it goes on that yard line wherever it's at.
Yeah, so it's always
they place that thing on the yard line to cover up the paint, and then they spread the chains from that point.
I understand.
Yeah, but so that sway you're talking about, it doesn't matter.
But where you put that lead spot, you could be off by a couple of inches.
It's not the sticks aren't what measure.
The sticks are going to be.
Sticks don't matter.
Yeah, you're talking about the ball placement. Yeah.
So the yard lines are like 4 inches wide. So there's a 4-inch marker on the rope that goes to that spot on the on the yard line.
They designated each time the chains move, they move that marker to a yard line to make sure that the chains stay in line with that. So when they bring the chains out on the field, that 4-inch marker goes on a yard line, and then they spread the chains from there. Like, so the marker is the marker. So let's say South Carolina got a 3rd and 1 close call. They marked the ball as questionable on the 19-yard line, right? To get the first down was on the 20. That marker would be on it would be on the 15-yard line. So they would take that marker out with the chains, place it down on the 15, and then spread the chains out from there. Yeah. So the chain is still 30 feet.
Regardless of that, and that, you can have a back and forth, and that could make it matter. But regardless of that, placement of the ball is a big issue too. Because they literally place it where they think it was. They don't place it exactly where it was.
That is
they
correct.
place it where they think it was.
That is correct, yes.
And that's, taking human error out of it is what we should strive towards. We have technology, we have cameras everywhere. We could put microchips. Oh, I don't have my ball in here. Well, we could put microchips at the end of the ball so we know exactly when it crosses the plane of the touchdown. We know exactly where it was, right? End zone.
Well, this gets into that argument of, do we want to make college football into the NFL? Because that's the kind of stuff they're doing. And
so I don't like the idea of robotic.
Just make it simple.
I don't like their idea of robotic markers. I think one of the things that makes baseball, football, basketball, all of
is
the human element of it.
Yes, you got to let the boys play. You have to go with the flow.
So you like bad calls and bad officiating, bad placements?
I think it's one of the things that makes the sport great.
Take it as it is. It does make it. I agree.
I do. I hate them. I hate when it happens.
I disagree.
Especially when it's against my team.
Mitigated simply. We don't need to have it. We don't need to have upset fans. If it's something important like a first down or even a touchdown, because if that ball breaks the plane and they're undecided,
let me counter your thing, and this will make Caleb go again from 6 to midnight. That fourth down call in 2000 and I don't even know what year it was. 12 against Michigan, South Carolina. And there was clearly they were this short of the first down. They were this short of the first down.
Yeah.
And first down, Michigan ball. You know what happened? It made everyone so fucking mad because it was on national television. Millions of people saw them make the worst call.
County launched a Michigan helmet into space that still hasn't landed today.
Yes.
Without that human error.
And recovered the fumble.
Best moments of college football from 2010 to 2020 does not happen.
That's what makes it great. So you got to take them. You got to take them when they take.
Like I hate them, dude. What I give you an example. Fucking in 2011, the Atlanta Braves were playing the divisional series, and they were going to go. They were the favorite to go win the World Series, and they lost their game because the fucking umpire called an infield fly rule and a ball in the outfield. Shouldn't have been called. Okay, you can't review it, but it happened. And then a decade later, the Atlanta Braves won the World Series. Look, bad calls happen. And I think putting robots in sports is a bad idea.
It is.
I think removing bad calls is a good idea, though. We're gonna be on separate sides, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
But and I understand that tradition is important, and keeping it more human and everything else.
I mean, I
respect that, but
Tyler
if we can
Simmons
mitigate
was never
nonsense and bad calls and fans being upset and games being altered, I'm for that. I am completely for that.
I don't want to
Matt, what do you
completely change the subject.
No, I'm with you. There's going to be a human element to it all the time. Just the games are long enough as it is. We can't nitpick over every little thing, and that's why they don't give college coaches review flags or challenge flags.
We should.
Sometimes I wish they could.
So, but I'm going to completely change the subject here. I have long thought that South Carolina was better than everybody in social media. I thought when we hired Justin King to do our media, Twitter posts, things like that, the little 1.5 minute videos, no one was ever going to touch us. I now have to yield to Tennessee.
You like the venom?
Because Tennessee's black uniform announcement this week was the greatest thing I've ever seen. I'm a big fan of this.
It's super laggy for me.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Hey, get your internet up, bro.
I have great internet. I love this.
So I know I've shared my piece about how I feel about Josh Pate, but he was right. After Georgia's win over Texas, the only thing the University of Georgia public relations media could have done was made a 7-minute movie. Like there was no other move. That was the only thing to do. And it was perfect. It was perfect. I love that this is where we're at in today's college football with social media. It's so great. It's so great.
It's the kind of thing where Tennessee always loves their Halloween game, and South Carolina and Tennessee used to play a lot on Halloween.
Yeah, that was our tradition.
I hated having to play Tennessee during Halloween because I think Tennessee was probably 8-2 in about, let's say, 2005 to 2015, and of course it's changed quite a bit since then. But fucking hell, is Neyland Stadium a hard place to play on Halloween night? And that I was a huge fan of that.
That was pretty cool. That was pretty damn cool.
South Carolina's was pretty cool too with the Joker.
Yeah.
That was good. I liked it.
It felt a little dated to me.
Well, Venom just came out. The Venom movie just came out, so I thought that was timely. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed, but there was another one they did the following, this morning that was much better. But
something about black cops
was pretty cool.
God, tell me about more about black jerseys.
Fuck, Matt.
Actually, yeah.
Slip that right out.
You did. I don't know if Brad caught that one.
That's right. Brad, how do you feel when we bring out the black jerseys? I know Georgia fans have a hard superstition about them.
Fuck the superstition. Okay. I hate the black jerseys.
No.
Not because of the superstition. I love the red on silver. Love it. You can't beat it. However, pause for effect. You know how Penn State does a whiteout game? Georgia fans should do a fucking blackout game where Georgia fans wear fucking black. Fuck the jerseys. Fuck the jerseys. Okay. They're cool. Yeah. They're gimmicky.
I like
they're a good little whatever. Fuck that though. No, keep the shit right. Keep the way it is. Now, I will get into another topic after this, but the fans, we should do a blackout in the stadium. I believe that is something Georgia could do, and it would do it very well. Now, Georgia
had red outs before. We've done
right. We should do blackouts, but not the team. No,
I'm good with the team doing it.
No, fuck that.
No,
fuck
I mean
that.
that's your opinion.
Yeah. But Georgia does have a recruiting helmet. They have these white helmets that go with the white jerseys. I think when we go away, we should wear the fucking white helmets with the white jerseys. Instead of a black stripe, they got the red stripe. Oh boy, those are clean.
Are they? I haven't really seen them.
Let's see if I can find a picture of it.
Yeah, pull it up.
So that's a little question. Who has the best? What is the best jersey? And
Oregon.
So I think, okay, you don't get to count Oregon. They got too many of them.
They got like 50.
They got too many options.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, so you name one, Oregon has a better one.
So you can't be wrong.
You can't be wrong.
Yeah.
So
Nike,
real quick,
Phil Knight.
I think the best jersey in all of football, and I'm going to include the NFL in this, is the Cincinnati Bengals white tiger uniform. I think it is the coolest jersey.
With the helmets too, they get the white and black helmets
I have
too,
a
right?
Joe Burrow white Bengal tiger jersey hanging on my wall right now.
The Siberian tiger. Never
Yeah,
mind
it is.
Does that helmet? Does that show up?
Yeah.
Yeah, those helmets.
Yup.
Yeah.
Y'all those.
Yeah, they should definitely wear those at away games.
At least like once.
They're not bad. I've always been a proponent to never touch the Tennessee helmet, but I do kind of like the black helmet for a blackout. I've always loved the orange and white helmet. It's the one thing I always wish they never would change. They can do the gray uniforms and everything.
Ohio State stole Josh Van's statement today. When Matt Dewey, do you remember this? When we beat Tennessee, what that wide receiver said? I think it could have been the Clemson game, but I think it was the Tennessee game. Man, we just dropped our nuts. Remember that?
I don't remember that.
Oh. So the fucking Donovan Jackson for Ohio State said, we just had to drop our nuts. That was how'd y'all beat Penn State? That was his answer.
Oh, that was his deal, huh?
I will also agree with what your mom says here. Kentucky's uniforms, as much as I hate Kentucky, I really like that patch that they have on their shoulders. It's
checkered. Yeah.
And then
checkered.
I want to do an honorable mention here. North Carolina's in the light blue.
Ooh. A lot of people love the powder blue. Even Ole Miss is powder blue.
So
me either.
The best baseball uniforms in the country are Ole Miss's powder blue uniforms. They are beautiful. When they walk out on Sundays in those, they are undefeated.
I would say the rest of us, except Mataween, would probably agree. We hate any team with orange in there.
Yeah, something about Tennessee orange. It's gaudy.
Tennessee, Auburn, Clemson,
so
Florida.
I gotta. I don't know if this is an admission or something that I just haven't worked through myself to really have proper words to express it. But me personally, I have no qualms or anything derogatory towards the Oregon Ducks. I think they're a great team. I love their mascot.
I love their head coach.
I love watching them play football. Love their head coach. Yep. When Georgia decimated them,
who is their head coach?
Dan
Lanning, our former defensive coordinator.
When Georgia decimated them in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, I had no ill will towards them. It was like, good. I kind of wish it was a better game, but it was a great game for a Georgia fan. I approached the University of Texas the same way. Whereas them coming into the SEC, I was kind of like, well, I don't hate these guys.
I'm the same way.
You're right. I want to like them. I like their story. I like their mascots. I like the way they do things. I like Sarkisian.
Now Matt might not like them because they also pretend to be UT.
But now they're nothing more than utter trash.
So why are they utter trash for you? I have a question. Why are they utter trash?
One, they threw trash on the field.
Okay.
And that's really that's really the only reason. Now I can blame it because of the orange, because we started talking about it. It's fucking orange.
Well, Matt knows something about
it's burnt orange. It's the ugly orange.
I do
God awful color.
Coming from
We've got the real orange. They're kind of that burnt.
I do not like Texas for one reason. And it's the fact that Texas, at least from what I can remember in my lifetime, has done one thing. And it was, I believe, come in second in 2005 with Vince Young, right?
Right.
Yeah. Beyond that, they've done nothing.
Nothing. They make a lot of money.
people talk about Texas as if they are the second coming of Christ.
Well, I think they're actually like as far as when it comes to money, and I don't even want to bring NIL collectives into this, but as far as like
I think they're second.
Is it behind A&M then?
I know. I think it's behind Southern Cal. I think Southern Cal is the number one booster program in the country.
That's why.
Yeah. But one thing I do want to say. Okay, does everyone remember last week the LSU and A&M game? Okay. Does everyone remember what that dumb blonde bitch said on Unnecessary Roughness? Okay, we have to find it. Okay. Hey, shit. I actually found the tweet.
I was working on sleep deprivation, brother.
Boy, still here.
Remember the beginning? I said I thought I had a tweet. This is the tweet.
Corn Boy, did they win? I thought Vince Young. No, because he did win the Heisman. Yeah, so they had to have won.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't come in second. They came in first.
Oh, did they win the title that year?
Yeah, because they beat
they won. They beat Reggie Bush that year.
Yeah.
I again.
Good call, Corn Boy.
Yeah. This was the tweet that I was talking about at the beginning of the show. But let me see if I can find what these people were saying. This was wild. Oh, we're gonna bookmark that as well.
Wild.
While he's getting that going, Brad, I do want to pivot and you know you're my new co-host as well as these other fine gentlemen. But as far as Georgia goes, you're my new Georgia co-host.
Hell yeah, I love it.
One opinion that I don't have from you is your opinion on Georgia, Florida, and Jacksonville. So, I know Kirby has made statements about wanting it to home and home for recruiting purposes. What are your thoughts?
So I can look at this from two different perspectives. One, as a fan, I would love nothing more than to go to Sanford Stadium in Athens and host a cocktail party every other year. It would be a great time.
Yep.
Property would be damaged. You know?
Yeah.
Same thing in Gainesville.
That's a great Larry Munson once said.
Yeah, same in Gainesville. Like I would love.
There's a reason there's a fence around that stadium in Jacksonville.
Right.
And also
to give the players
this is college football, right? Is that not kind of the point of college football? But please continue.
But that's a fan perspective. Now, as a football knower and as someone who tries to, I try to keep my finger on the pulse of what's actually fucking going on. These teams, Georgia and Florida, they split $12 million a year for that one game in a neutral site.
Right.
There is no reason not to take a free $6 million for your program. There is absolutely zero reason not to take free money.
And it's an awesome atmosphere.
So
have you gone?
I've never been. I've never had the urge to go because
we're going next year.
Oh, congratulations. Maybe
no, you're coming with.
Oh, okay. I will come with.
Congratulations.
I would be more than happy to come.
We're going. The fam's going. We're going with row 60 next year. All of us.
It's the only football environment where they don't split it into end zones. They split it hot dog wise. They don't do it hamburger. They do it hot dog.
Yeah.
And it is in fact the most. I think that's why Kirk and Reese called the game today because it is in fact the most unique neutral site game in the nation.
One of.
I think it's still the most.
Red
unique.
River is pretty unique. They have the fair.
They don't do it hot dog wise. They do it hamburger wise.
I understand, but it depends on your definition of unique.
Yeah, real quick. Y'all remember Brad going, "Oh, congratulations."
That was me.
Oh, sorry, Matt.
That was me.
Matt saying, "Oh, congratulations."
Yeah.
Okay. Remember this?
It's a whole new world out there.
It's a different world, and
but, I'm on TikTok now.
Congratulations.
And I've done really well.
It's a whole new world out there.
That was one of the funniest, most uninterested Congratulations. I've ever heard in my life.
But no, the Georgia, them not taking advantage of the home and home opportunity because they're renovating Jacksonville. I see it. I get it.
Where was it played?
Where? It's
Yeah.
always played in Jacksonville.
Right. Where was it played today?
Jacksonville.
So it's next year.
No,
next year they're doing the stadium renovations.
Is it next year or is it 26, 27?
No, the following year.
Yes,
Next year is still in Jacksonville.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
The
where are
following
they
year,
moving
I don't
to?
know.
It's 2 years. So one of them's going to be played. So it's 2 years.
Mhm.
It's going to be 26, 27. One of them's going to be played in Mercedes-Benz. The other one's going to be played. Other one's going to be played in Tampa. So to keep it neutral site, but to give it a semblance of home and home.
Jim, you need to raise that hand a little bit.
But
so,
I wish it was home and home as a fan.
Here's my
but
idea.
I
Here's
get
my
it.
idea. Tell me your thoughts. So you do a home and away, Jacksonville, Atlanta. So each class of recruit has the opportunity to play in every venue if you stay all 4 years.
Well, this gets back into what another argument is. Georgia only got 4 home games this year, 5 home games this year, and only 3 of them are good because of the Georgia-Florida game.
Right.
I mean, I get it, but at the same time, why not take a free $6 million for one
I
game?
understand that. I understand that. But
it's
what do you think of my idea? Where you
as
get
a
all
fan-
4?
As a fan, I love it. But as someone who looks at the program and
business, right?
How much does Kirby Smart make a year?
You got
He's
to
the highest
pay for
paid
the
coach.
Kirby copter somehow, right?
Yeah, got to pay for Kirby. Got to pay for defense. Got to.
Oh yeah, that was so funny watching him get off the helicopter and go to that high school game.
I mean, you got to pay for rosters now. Like, that $80 million weightlifting facility.
Now,
can't pay
before
for itself.
NIL,
I mean,
and all that shit could have been a little more feasible, but
I mean, Matt, you get what I'm saying about facilities, programs, maintaining the actual program outside of the team during 12 weekends a year. Like, this is a very high cost operation.
Every other year you're going to be on the road, so you're not going to get the revenue, as much of the revenue. So yeah, they both get a guaranteed extra, $6 million basically.
Well,
So financially it's okay, but I'm against it. I wish they would start playing at home. And tradition, I don't care about the tradition. I don't care how it started or why it started.
Yeah. One of the things I hate the most is it feels like every other year South Carolina plays either the opening game or some game in the middle of October in fucking Bank of America Stadium. As much as I like, as a Panthers fan, Bank of America Stadium, I'm so fucking sick and tired of losing a home game to fucking Charlotte. Like, can we stop that? Like, I don't give a shit about the Belk opening season game. I don't care about the AT&T. Next year we're playing in I think we're playing Notre Dame in the in Mercedes-Benz to open the season.
the Chick-fil-A kickoff.
Yeah, and I don't give a shit. I want to play in fucking Williams-Brice Stadium.
Yeah.
Why is that so hard?
Well, that's college,
boys.
man. We
It's
have
a
these
business.
college
It's a
campuses
business.
for a reason, right? Neutral site games
money.
should be saved for the postseason.
ADs want the money.
And these top programs, and South Carolina is getting into this conversation too. I mean, I don't mean to make that sound derogatory, Caleb, but to get these top programs, they're not doing it because they're not making smart business decisions. Like,
it
takes money to get a number 1 recruiting class. It takes money to develop these classes and to consistently put players into the NFL. It takes the money.
And you guys are going to start paying your talent fees, just like Tennessee's going to start. Your season ticket holders, at least. Everybody's going to do it.
Isn't Arkansas and Texas A&M going to stop doing Jerry World?
It wouldn't surprise me.
I thought I heard that somewhere.
I mean, I don't keep up with
this
that.
year might have been
kind
the
of
last
stuff.
year for that or something.
But I agree with Matt. Back to my take on it, I wish it was a home and home. But as far as a program stability and a growth standpoint, take the money. Like
It's hard. Yeah.
Take the money. I want to stay on top. I'm going to be honest. I know we're living in the glory days as Georgia fans and Tennessee fans. You guys are coming. You're coming back into your prime. I want to stay where we're at. I don't want to go back to 10-2. I don't want to go back to 9-3. I don't want to do that shit. Take the fucking money and keep winning. Keep paying for players.
Even South Carolina is 2 games away of being
right
in the top tier.
Take the money. Let's get more facilities. Yeah. Let's get better doctors. Let's get better coaches. Let's retain coaches. Let's do whatever we got to do. Let's just keep doing what we're doing and do it better. And it takes money to do that, unfortunately.
Yep.
Even though home and home would be pretty fucking sweet.
It would be nice. I like the idea of.
But the fans don't get the show on television. Like the cocktail party, even though that they don't call it that anymore, it doesn't get television time. It doesn't get spotlight. And that's all the home game would do is be for the fans, the people going to the game. It's not for the players. It's not for the team. It's for the fans.
Yeah. Now, watching a lot of Row 60 and they get to go to like every game and they experience a lot of the other college campuses. One thing I've come to realize that I wish Georgia had a better tailgating atmosphere near the campus, like outside of the stadium area. You know how Ole Miss has like the Grove and like we don't have something like that.
I would argue. Now, I've only been to like 7 or 8 tailgates.
Yeah.
I think Georgia's tailgating scene is probably the best in the country.
Yeah, but you don't have to walk through it to get to the game is the big thing. Like it's tucked kind of away.
It's not I would argue, I don't want to say I would argue it, but like the entire part of Athens around the stadium is the tailgate. Like you're not getting to that stadium without passing at least 30 tailgates. Any direction, any gate you go in, you're passing at least 30.
Have you ever been to Williams-Brice?
No, I've never been to the trailer park.
No, I want to go though.
Child, I will sit on you.
I have been to Columbia, and so
don't worry, Brad. I'll bring some of Angie's brownies. And
my
get them
concealed carry license isn't valid in South Carolina, so I don't go there.
Oh.
I mean, I know a lawyer in South Carolina now.
Okay. You say everything you want. I will raise you one thing: Athens. Atlanta.
I don't go there either because I-75. Don't go there.
And 85 and 20.
Don't go there.
And 285.
No one in Atlanta goes to Atlanta.
Yeah, I live 2 hours away, and if I can avoid it, I will. Like when I was still in the Marine Corps, and I would come home from North Carolina, like there was a path to go through Atlanta to get home, but I would always take the back roads and go through Augusta and up the coast.
Yep. It's worth the sanity to take the wrong way. Yeah.
But no, I agree. Atlanta, that's going to be the only blue portion of Georgia here in a couple of days, and that's for a reason.
By the way. Thank you for bringing that because I did want to say that earlier. Has everybody voted already?
Yeah, I voted for Campbell 4 times.
I don't believe in voting early. Voting early is communist. The election day is one day. You vote on election day.
Well, no, that's where you get your last vote in.
I got mine done.
Vote early and often.
Yeah, gotta get them in, baby.
Bravo.
Gotta get
Speaking
them
of, I've been talking to X-Wing. I believe we are going to be doing a live reaction to the election night this Tuesday on his channel.
Oh dear God.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
that'll be fun.
I don't want to get too political. I just want to. I will.
Oh, we can do that. We can do that.
No, we need to stay on college football. I just want to say, I'm tired of paying taxes. So, taxation is theft. I'm gonna leave it
I
there.
know too political, and then says one of the most political things you can say.
You know, and here's another one. Here's another one. All right, my guns are not weapons of war until you try to come take them.
I mean, it's cool that you still have yours. I unfortunately lost mine to a tragic boating accident.
Yeah, well, mine
Dang,
actually
man.
identify
Yeah.
as hammers and nails.
So
It's fine.
I brought up unnecessary roughness earlier. This is what she had to say. I forget her name, Katie something, about LSU.
What a
and the
flawless
A&M.
segue, by the way.
Oh yeah. This was the
We're all
unnecessary
talking
roughness.
about how LSU doesn't let Nussmeier get sacked, which is very true. When you look at who they have played this
South
year,
Carolina
LSU this year
sacked
has
him like
played
9
USC,
times.
shit defense.
Yeah.
Nichols, South Carolina, not a good defense. UCLA, no defense.
What?
South Alabama, Ole Miss, and then Arkansas. We're acting like they've been playing.
Hey, you see this guy go.
No defense.
Pulling the
South
Brad
Alabama,
right there.
Ole Miss, and then Arkansas. We're acting like they've been playing Georgia's defense. Like they're like, well, I mean, A&M's not going to be able to get to him.
Yeah.
Like, yes, they have a very good offensive line. Yes, he's not getting sacked. But like every time I start hearing that, it's like A&M has one of the best defense.
And then
Did she get ratioed? Is that why that's just so
The thing is
viral?
that South Carolina's
Hang on.
defense, especially the front seven, is very good. They have a very good pass rush. Connor Wigman does not have the legs that Marcel Reed
This was
does. So he would
31st.
be more of a sitting duck if he is playing quarterback. Now, I guess we're going to see. And
What
I'm
the
not saying that
comments
Jackson
say?
Dart is some
She's gotta
world beater
get
either. But
ratioed.
when you look at South Carolina's defense, when they have played teams with a pulse, they played LSU, they gave up 36 points. When they played Alabama, they gave up 27 points. Ole Miss, 27 points. The teams that they've had this unbelievable defense against, Kentucky, Akron, and Oklahoma. Woof, all three of them. And then they did let Old Dominion score 19 points. So I'm not saying that South Carolina is a super shitty defense.
Like,
However, when you
13
look
of
at the
them were in
teams that they
garbage
have
time.
beaten the way they have, they don't have a mobile quarterback. They don't have a quarterback that can also throw the ball, which is what we saw. Now, Marshall Reed only threw 2 passes, but Connor Wigman can throw.
Do you go for the blondes, Caleb, or no?
Yeah.
In the words of the great Happy Gilmore, I'm stupid. You're
you.
smart.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Thank
you
you.
were right. You're the best, and I'm the worst.
Yeah.
And if I could physically eat a crow, disgusting, I would. I could not have been more wrong about this team, regardless if I try to fix it or not. This was an embarrassing display by A&M, and that's all I can say. There's nothing else to say. There's no spin zone. Again, you were right. I was wrong. You're the best. I'm the worst.
I think we can just leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, I just want to know on her other comments, was she getting ratioed? Because she had to.
She did. We go to with
they keep receipts.
Says that LSU or that LSU didn't let South Carolina sack them.
Oh, that was one of the talking points going into A&M's. Like, yeah, Nussmeier hasn't been sacked all season. Like,
What are you talking about? He got sacked twice by South Carolina.
I watched South Carolina eat his lunch, and then the officials gave LSU the game. Speaking of pundits, okay, who do you guys like and who do you guys hate? Let's start with Caleb.
Like any of them.
Well, I've heard you speak well about Josh Pate.
So I like talking points of Josh.
He's not a national media.
Yeah, he's a YouTuber. There's a bit different.
He had a CBS thing,
but you could argue that's a national. I think YouTube is bigger than national media.
It is. That's fair. That's fair.
Like Brandon Walker's not on CBS or NBC or what the fuck ever.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, but he's fucking dumbass.
He's the guy in charge of unnecessary roughness.
Yeah.
He's Barstool's college football guy, even though Frank the Tank knows more than him. I'm not a huge fan of any of them because I think everyone that has been involved with college football announcing or talking about for the last, let's say, more than 2 years thinks they know more than everyone and that their opinion is God's gift to mankind.
Sure.
And it's always been annoying to me. But the worst by far is Stephen A. Smith.
Great. Matt, what do you got?
I don't believe it or not, I don't listen or watch any of them. Josh Pate, I watch a little bit on social media every now and then, and he's fine. But I don't watch those. I don't listen to those guys. I listen to Tony Basilio, who does a show there in Knoxville every day. And he's probably still there right now. This is the best post-game call-in show I've ever heard. I mean, he'll go on for 4 or 5 hours some nights. So, I'm really focused on Tennessee, and I don't pay attention to the national guys at all.
Jim, what you got?
I heavily dislike Sam Macho. His teeth give me nightmares. And
which one is he?
He's the one with the big ass teeth. He's had some horrendous tweets, like encouraging Texas fans to throw trash on the field and shit like that.
I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anytime, bro, I'm kidding you. And apologies for the gang signs. I'll show you. But when he's sitting there on college football live, this is him while somebody else is talking. The whole time he's like this.
Yeah.
The whole fucking time. His mouth, his gums are just going as high as they fucking can. It drives me nuts. His football takes are the worst. He's a Texas simp. Of course, he played for him, but yeah, he grinds my gears. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Also, he is leaving corn on that cob. I'll just say that. But yeah. Anyway.
No.
I gotta say, I think local people across the board are just better.
Absolutely.
Like, I'd rather listen to our radio broadcast than
YouTube's better in general.
Than the best than Vince. Who am I thinking of?
You don't like Matt Berry either.
CBS.
Matt DeBerry?
Yeah, he feels like a used car salesman.
So I didn't get to give mine. So I have a love-hate relationship with Kirk Herbstreit.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk Herbstreit is a certified ball knower, but I hate how corporate he is at the same time.
Well,
and since
you got to make your money.
Since Stephen A. Smith is already off the board, Joel Klatt can sit on a big pink dildo. He might be a certified ball knower. I don't know. Doesn't sound like it, but sometimes it does. But dude just gobs on whatever the narrative is. Like, oh God, it's so terrible. And I also don't like listening to Josh Pate because all he does is give feel good stories. And
I enjoy Josh Pate.
His mythical model. Oh,
I
still watch Josh Pate every.
I listened to his South Carolina segment, and I gotta say, Brad, you kind of ruined it for me because I heard it. Listening to him, I started hearing the betting, the fan duel. I started hearing. I was like, "Oh my God, he's right! It's all about fucking betting."
Yeah, it is, man. It's yeah. I still listen to Josh Pate, but again, I shouted him out earlier. Brooks Austin.
I'll watch him every week now.
He's going to take over, man. He's good. He knows his stuff. And
I like the comedy side too. You
and
got
he's not a
SEC
fan.
Shorts.
I don't
Matt
think
Mitchell.
I don't think he's a fan of anybody either. He just straight up just ball.
Yeah.
Let's talk ball. Love it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They'll show your warts.
For sure.
Right.
So real quick, I know we got to wrap up soon. Did College Game Day get it right?
Who's going first?
Well, let's say where they were.
They were at Ohio State at Penn State.
Who's going first?
I
go
think.
Matt.
Well, as far as the outcome, I mean, no. I mean, it was a top 3 ranked team. Game, of course.
It was 1 versus 2 or 2 versus 3.
It was a tight game. Was it 20-13 final score?
3 versus 4.
Me. Jesus.
No, thank you.
Hold on. I'm sorry.
Full retard, man. Never go full retard.
That's my bad. That's my bad.
I didn't watch a whole lot of ball today, so I don't know. I mean, obviously the A&M South Carolina game was a surprise
Probably the most
to everybody but Caleb.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, I think it was really the only option. I think anytime you've got 2 top 5 teams go, and you can go, there isn't like, oh, we have to go to this. I think you have to go. I think it's like, and any chance
Penn
you've
State
got
doing
to
a
go,
whiteout.
yeah, and any chance you've got to go to something like Alabama, LSU. I know, Brad, what you said, and I would love to agree, but I think if you have the opportunity to do Alabama, LSU, I think you have to do that.
Where is that one?
Death Valley. So
Come
yeah,
on,
you have to,
come
yeah.
on.
The away fan, the visiting fan atmosphere in the stadium is terrible, but outside there's almost no friendlier group of people in the country. Inside they'll fucking kill you, but
They're drunk off their butts.
They'll throw bags of piss at you, but outside they're pretty fucking hospitable.
They'll cook you some gumbo.
Jim, what do you think? Because I got a long-winded, I got a long-winded thing on this one.
Oh, of course you do.
Thanks,
No, 3 and 4. I mean, how do you not go to that? Like, it's in hindsight, it wasn't the most entertaining game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was kept close. I will give it that. I was obviously expecting Penn State to lose it, which they did. Yeah, man. I think the game of the week is gonna have to go South Carolina A&M. Like, wow, upset alert to the max. Not only that, you didn't just eke out a win, you bent them over. Like, no lube, you didn't even hawk to and spit on that thing. You gave them everything.
It really was a lot of fun to watch. Now, our passing game still needs a lot of help, but it was a lot of fun to watch that game.
Yeah.
All right, so here I go.
Yep.
Let me pose my philosophical question to start my answer. Is college game day's only purpose to go to the top ranked game every week? Is that their purpose?
No, it's to go to the best game.
So best game as in like keeping it close, or like for the playoff picture, because it's turned into what's the most detrimental or impactful to the playoff picture. That's what college game day is turned into.
I think what it should be is what is going to look the best behind those 5 or 6 guys on that stage.
Sure,
there's a hype element, there's an atmosphere element, and there's an importance of the game element, right? I think all of those combined kind of contribute.
Well, what you're saying, it goes to what you guys were saying. If you got a top 5 matchup, you have to go. But
yeah, just like Georgia and Texas a while, but
right. But I kind of disagree.
Okay.
Like today,
really?
Today would have been an opportune time to go watch Clemson get decimated by Louisville and bring light and hype and exposure to a team like Louisville, who gets absolutely none. Great game, upset game, great fan base.
But you get that treatment after you get an upset win, not before.
But they're doing well in the ACC. Clemson's first in the ACC. Like, so sure, you got, okay, maybe not, but you still got Ohio State, Penn State. Great. It's an undefeated versus a 1-loss team. Great. Whatever. It's the top rated game. We all know college game day is going to go to it, but why not go to some of these other games?
Well, I think that's why they went to, was it Cal or 2 weeks ago? I think that's why they went there.
The Cal Miami.
Yeah, I definitely think that.
But I think they got that one right.
Yeah, in the last, I feel like in the last 2 years, 2 or 3, they do seem to be going to, or maybe not changing who they pick every week, but they do seem to have a priority to have good games and good atmospheres.
Like last week going to Indiana.
Mhm.
Loved that.
Yeah.
Loved that. Now, would I think today's college game day would have been right if it was a night game instead of a fucking noon kickoff? Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's the Big Ten doing their big noon.
Like I said, they got to go. They got to get over with early so they can get back to the farm and milk the cows and feed the cattle and all that.
But to sum up my thing that I can drag this on for another 30 minutes. I don't think they got it right today. Yes, it was a good game. It was in fact a ball game. It was a close game, even though the officials gave Ohio State 10 points. Yeah. But as far as the concept behind what I think is a fan game day should be, I think they got it wrong.
Okay. What's your hindsight game of the week for you?
Hindsight. Ooh, that's tough. That
so
Tennessee,
now you've seen it. I guess regardless of
Miami
Duke
game.
What's the best game of the week?
That Miami Duke game was pretty freaking good because Duke had Miami on the ropes all game except for the last 5 minutes.
Matt?
I would have said the A&M South Carolina.
Okay. Caleb, I'm sure yours is Clemson losing, right?
That was pretty nice. Game of the week, though, or I guess Tampa Day. I think I might go with the Carolina A&M game. Yeah. I don't think
just what a performance.
Yeah, I don't think
it was stellar.
The Clemson game was
exciting
enough. Yeah.
No, you're right.
It's just the upset that was exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
it's clappable.
Seeing people have to eat shit for it was beautiful. How many people on game day today? 6?
No shit, really?
What was it? 6 people?
I don't think Lee showed up.
No
I don't think Lee Corso showed up.
All right, so 5, right?
Yeah,
4 of them picked A&M. Pat McAfee picked A&M. Said he's on A&M to win out.
Well, that'll change.
He's like the worst. Who's worse, he or Desmond, when it comes to picks, not characters?
Desmond.
I think, yeah. Well, I mean, dude, we all remember when he picked the Final Four, like what, 3 years ago, and not a single one of them made it.
Like, dude, let me do your job. I know more about ball than you. Come on,
it was like Pitt, Michigan.
But you don't have a Heisman, so
I do not have a Heisman. Only my mom said I was special though.
Oh, okay. So then, okay, I'm glad you had this. My question was, did Jason Kelsey really do the kick, or was that just hey, Jason Kelsey's here?
Well, I know he smashed somebody's phone, so
yeah. But since you have this, that tells me Jason Kelsey did do a kick, but it wasn't the kick.
We've already had you do too much thinking in between those ears. You're a finance major. Are you a kicker? We shall see.
I have not watched this, by the way. This is brand new to me.
Aim right.
Oh, sniping, kids.
Oh.
Eric, I tell you what, that was a pretty horrendous attempt.
They've given everyone a second chance this year.
Jason Kelsey told me, especially after that wonderful podcast deal,
dude, he looks so drunk
over there for New Heights. He'll put up 250. I'll put up 250. This is a $500,000.
$500,000. You got this, baby.
Right, Eric.
Is it bad only for him to make it?
Oh yeah, I think he wants to give away the money.
$500,000.
Oh.
Kicking isn't easy, but it's a great thing. Eric, good work.
Yeah, I got to tell you something.
Jason
One of the things that I love about this is how many of us have sat at the stadium when they do the little kick thing and gone, man, that's fucking easy.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Oh, every time I sit there and go, man, I could do that.
I would fucking get it. I would fucking get it.
Dude, I think it's kind of like the idea of putting actual people in the Olympics.
I would get it.
Like,
all right, so before we wrap up, I do want to do like a little short segment here. What are we looking forward to next week? What games, what standout performances do we want to see besides our own teams?
Looking forward to Vandy beating South Carolina next week.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so
And
cute.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's just so small. You can pick him up and put him on a shelf.
Where are they playing that game, Caleb? Where's that game at?
Nashville.
I may go to that game. I'm on vacation. I may go to that
shit.
game.
3:15. 3:15.
I may see if I can get a ticket and go to that game just to have a fun game to watch.
It'd probably only be like $50.
It's the easiest place in the SEC to play.
Actually, you know what? Let's see.
So good.
Famous last words.
Almost as bad as, man, our practices are louder than that.
It'll be half the drive and half the cost than going to Mississippi, watch the Mississippi State game at Knoxville.
Yeah, Matt,
So I may
tickets
go to
as
that
low as $66.
Dude, I may go to that game.
I mean, those are nosebleeds, but still.
I don't have Espen.
I don't think they have nosebleeds at Vanderbilt.
It's not that high up there, yeah.
You're right. You're right. It's probably still great seats.
What does it hold? Does it even hold 20,000?
Oh yeah.
Construction, so tap the brakes.
So I don't.
It's a social event. When you go to that Vanderbilt games, it's a social event. People are still getting there midway through the first quarter. They're talking about, they got to get off or leave the game early to go see the symphony, or they got to go do emergency surgery, or
Broadway.
talk about their lawsuit cases they're working. Yeah, it's just a social event for Vanderbilt.
40,350.
It's bigger than I thought it was.
40,000?
Yeah, so it's basically a glorified Texas high school stadium.
We got a couple high school stadiums here that are bigger than that.
They're still putting in all those exits
Not a lot of
into
them,
the
though.
stadium.
Only
So
like two.
other than South Carolina, Vandy, and Alabama, LSU, and Georgia, Ole Miss, I have no idea what's going on next week. So
Matt, who's Tennessee playing next week?
Mississippi State. So maybe our offense will show up and
Yeah,
we'll
be careful
score
with
more
them
in the
now.
I hope they do.
They might hang 30 on you if you're not paying attention.
No kidding.
Speaking from experience.
They just beat Maine. They got 2
Wait, they
wins
put
now.
30 on you?
Yeah.
Mississippi State is one of those teams that
27 on us.
that has in fact
I know.
improved every week of the season.
Getting a little better, yeah.
Florida did too, though.
Florida is still getting better. Like
Is Billy Napier getting fired?
no.
No.
So this is a funny thing. 3
Yes.
weeks ago, I was absolutely yes.
Me too. Not anymore.
He's gone.
Keep
He's gone at the
doing
end of the
better.
season. He's gone. He's gone.
You don't think they
Mark-
give him one
Mark
more?
my words, he's gone at the end of the season.
I agree. I think he should be. But
if he wins
He
one more
has to
game,
He has to be.
I don't know
Good.
if it's just because I'm not around a lot
He
of
ain't
Florida
it,
fans,
man.
but
He
it
ain't it.
feels like they've just like
they
know
believe. They
These
see it.
quarterbacks are getting
Let's see
hurt.
if he can do it.
Like they're getting better. Like they're legitimately
and
getting
the other
better.
thing is, I think go back to Florida's last 2 or 3 head coaches. They've all been fired, in my opinion, a season too early.
Yes.
Listen.
Dan
their
Mullen
fan
was
base-
about right. They
Listen,
fired Dan Mullen
I
at the
think
right
he
time.
was about half a season too early.
Listen,
but because he wasn't recruiting. Like he just
Well,
wasn't.
yeah, that's fair.
y'all, their fan base, their AD,
Mhm.
their head coach, both gone. They need to both go. Their fan base is ready. Their contributors, their donators are ready for them to go.
Okay,
They're
I need
gone.
their AD to stay for a year because we're about to hire a new AD, and I don't want anyone to get any ideas.
Well, I think Florida's AD actually hired. Like that was his first hire was Billy
Yeah.
Napier
Yeah.
because they both came in at the same time. Yeah,
And that AD ain't going then.
yeah. So
You
I don't.
You don't hire. You don't throw
he's,
away ADs
he's got to
like
go.
that.
He's got to go.
I think if Florida gets bowl eligible, Billy stays another season.
Absolutely, 100%.
But who I do think is on the hot seat is
Mark Stoops.
Old ball coach. No, Mark Stoops is set.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Sam Pittman.
No.
I agree.
Come back home, baby.
Come on, come back home. Come back
home.
Matt,
I
do
do
you
think he's on
think-
the hot seat.
Do you think Heupel? Do you think his seat's getting warm?
No.
No.
So I don't mean hot seat, and I don't mean warm.
Pressure.
I
You're
just
talking
mean
pressure.
pressure.
Yeah.
Because for like 2 years in a row, it was guys, Tennessee. And it doesn't, I don't hear that. Now, obviously, 7-1, it's great. Number 3 in the SEC, I believe. But
it's all in front of them.
Feels like the to quote our soon-to-be loser, it feels like the joy is gone.
The honeymoon's over for sure.
Honeymoon,
the 22 honeymoon, yeah. But his recruiting's still good. We've got, supposedly a very phenomenal quarterback. Just got to get him coached up.
He's a new quarterback for y'all. So
yeah, he's still young. Defense is the best we've had in more than 10 years, 15 years. There's a lot still going his way in Tennessee, just as an organization, athletic organization is really growing. The AD is, they were buddies from UCF days. So, but as far as the fans are really upset. The fans are upset with the offensive performance, and that's where the warm seat might come from.
Yeah,
but he's safe. He's safe for if he goes 10-2 here, he'll be fine.
Defense.
Outside perspective, looking in, let's just look at the steps they've made from 5 years ago.
Absolutely.
Oh
yeah.
From Pruitt,
and I don't want to be.
Thankfully, they ain't got to play South Carolina.
I want to give Tennessee fans credit here that they see the future. Like next year, Tennessee is going to be a force to be reckoned with.
This year, they still can be. It's all ahead.
It all depends on what happens in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
if they beat us, man.
Or
bro, I'm still worried about next week with Ole Miss.
Hey, 1 week at a time as a Georgia fan.
Absolutely.
I know I said it earlier in the show, Georgia is not national championship my hopeful this year because they don't put it together. So it's 1 week at a time for me.
Bro.
But next year, I think the Tennessee fans, I think they see it. I think they see the future. It's going to be they're going to be the team to beat next year. They're hands down.
Yeah.
They get 1 or 2 pieces on offensive line. They keep most. I think you guys lose 2 or 3 players off your defense, maybe.
Maybe James Pierce is probably gone. Yeah.
Most of the offense is coming back. Sampson's probably going to come back.
I don't know. He's a junior, but he's
running backs aren't going too well in the
see.
draft right now. So I mean, again, even the ones coming after Sampson. Like Tennessee's offense next year is going to be impeccable. They got great recruiting, like Matt was saying. Next year, it's Tennessee's year. Next year,
could be. Well, boys, I think we kind of hit everything, right? I mean, we're. I mean, our next game is Ole Miss. I'm nervous about it. I don't know.
Well, somebody asked what scares. What are you worried about with Ole Miss? Just keep it short, sweet.
So not particular to Ole Miss, but just Georgia in general. I don't know how to feel about this team. I can't trust them. Our defense showed up today. They showed up our last game day against Tennessee or Texas, right? But our offense is suspect. We could put everything together or we could completely fall apart. It is we are on a whim. We are on, unfortunately, the shoulder of Carson Beck, which scares the piss out of me. If we have to get in a shootout with Ole Miss because they have the ability to score points and they have shown that they can do so. And our defense is good, and we could do like what South Carolina did to them and hold them consistently, like shut them down after a couple of really good plays. But if we can't score no goddamn points, we're fucked. And our ability to score points is what really scares me. Our running game is clicking, but we need to be able to throw the ball too and not throw it to the other team, give them good field position, give them opportunities to score and have to play behind the sticks. We saw how that went once already this year and we lost. We saw how that went a couple of other times and we won. Luckily, we were on that side. but it could easily swing the other way. Let's not get ahead of our skis. This team is not like what Caleb said. There's no for sure unbeatable team in Georgia. As much as we like to say, "Oh, they're in the elite class," are we? Because we are very beatable. We are very beatable. We are 4 picks away from being beatable, and he will give you 3. So you just need 1 more.
So you bring up a good point there. Even with all of these turnovers, Georgia's still winning games by 2 scores, which makes them.
Thanks for being here, Matt.
Which makes them an elite team. However, the inconsistency and the unpredictability is also a very real factor, and I agree with you 100%. Georgia can win it all this year.
We can. But we could also lose.
We could also very much lose. So I'm with you.
It's up in the air, man. Week to week, game to game.
I don't fear
hard to road the SEC, like the coach says.
I don't know. I'm not in agreement with you about winning a shootout. I think Georgia has very great chances winning a shootout. I really do.
A coin toss, Bubba.
I really do because of the defense, not because the offense is going to score 70-yard bombs.
We get into a shootout, a game on the line. We get down in the red zone, and Carson Beck throws an interception in the end zone.
Well, what happens?
Where have we seen that before? Oh my God, was that week 4?
Well,
yeah.
Well, even then, came back from a 28-point deficit and took the lead. And lost on the last play of the game
because of
I know
our shit quarterback. And welcome, y'all. We finally got to it. Carson Beck is dog shit. Hang on, let me put Timmy back up. We gotta get Timmy up there.
So I can't disagree with you on the dog shit. But what I can say in a shootout, every time Georgia's been in a close game and had to score more points at the same pace or faster, Georgia has done well.
Oh, fuck off. John Dutton wouldn't give a shit about Notre Dame.
Fucking
you know, I'll shit on Carson.
Yeah,
I'll also give him hey,
on him.
It's you're probably not listening to this. Hardly anybody does. But if it gets around to you, bro, it's on you. You could turn this around. You could change my mind. I'm open for it. I was expecting you to do that today, but you shit the fucking bed. And now I've got to clean it. So do better. I want you to do better. I need you to do better. For fuck's sake, stop throwing it to the other team. You were Florida's best player today.
Facts. My
he was Florida's MVP of the game today. 100%. They gave him the ball. They left their locker room, went to the other end of the stadium to give him the fucking game ball.
He was the Auburn version of Bo Nix to Florida.
Dude, I would love to see a fucking team do that one day.
Dude, that would be so funny. Yeah.
So my hot sauce take
how
is
you get shot outside the stadium.
Carson,
Right.
you need to quit doing fucking TikToks with your fake ass girlfriend. You need to
bro,
stop worrying about
a gold digger, son.
You need to stop worrying about your fucking Lamborghini NIL deal. And you need to also take a little bit of dose of reality and realize that you can't force these NFL throws because that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to fucking force it because your draft stock went to shit.
Also, bro, you cannot throw your hands up when a receiver drops a pass when you throw an absolute piss missile at him at mock Jesus. Like, bro, you have to give him a chance to catch the fucking thing. You can't shit whip it at him.
Dude.
Golly. Bro, that would have been a touchdown, but he fucking whipped it at him. Capital H.
Whipped.
Goodness gracious.
Oh,
boys, what a fantastic night.
It has been. It's been a good show. Good show.
Peaches and cream, Brad. Thank you, sir, for being
Anytime.
here.
My pleasure.
New co-host. Caleb, King's Advisors. Thank Thank you, man. Matt Tween, I appreciate you being here, man. I understand your phone died, but always great to get the Tennessee perspective. Love-hate relationship with Tennessee, but love having you on, man. Good friend.
Fucking
Everybody in
Legolas
the
likes
chat,
Georgia, though.
Everyone in the chat, we appreciate you. We will be on next week for the Ole Miss recap. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your week. And
Turn
go
your volume
Dogs.
down.
Go Dogs. Go college football.
Go ahead, Caleb. Say yours.
Yeah, go Cox.
Go Cox.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
There you go.
Hey, bring a
Go fuck yourself, Sam.